But I think the development of full artificial intelligence will spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
It was a rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. That's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1, 0,
self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio.
Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness.
Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and hello to all of you who may also have troubled minds. What's going on, guys? Sorry about the oops last night. We had a technical issue. I had a monitor die on me just before showtime, and there wasn't enough time to get it all fixed up and get everything rolling. So my apologies for missing that. But we're here tonight, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are the nights we get together at 7 p.m. Pacific. And, well, what is it that we do? Let me explain. No, too much. Let me sum up. We talk about all the things you're not allowed to talk about. And what are those things? You guessed it. Aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, the government, academia, the 24-hour news cycle, propaganda, and the general feeling that we live in the upside down. And of course, as always, we're doing this live, so if you want to be part of the show tonight at any point, you can give us a call at 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037, and we'll put you on the show. It's as easy as that. You can go to troubledminds.org. That's the official website. Click on the Discord link as well, and that will give you a direct invite to our Discord, and easiest way to be on the show that way as well. Discord, by the way, we always talk about it because it's an amazing program. We are not sponsored by Discord, but it's one of those things that's technology, like I was just saying before we began, can be a very good thing, and it could be a very bad thing if you're talking about surveillance state and all the rest of this stuff. But in terms of bringing people together and having conversations and, sort of breaking down those barriers of, the silos of people as individuals, which is good. I believe in the individual, but I think that it's easy to get lost and remember that we are also part of a collective humanity. And so Discord in particular is one of those great programs that in recent times, unlike Facebook, has actually done a lot of great work bringing people together instead of using algorithms to tear them apart. So Discord again gets a very, very resounding endorsement from me, even though we are not sponsored by them. It's just it's free. It's a free chat client. It's a voice client. You can share photographs and links and videos and stream your screen. It's like turned into like the all-in-one program to just hang out with your friends and play video games games, or even do talk shows. You can pretty much do whatever you want with it. So one more time, that's and it's free, by the way. Did I mention the best part about Discord is it's free? Go to troubledminds.org, click the Discord link, and there you go. As simple as that. Jump on the caller queue. We'll put you on the show that way. And it's the best way to do it when you're international, because we have people listening to this show all over the world. And so why not, right? 702 area code, which you can see right there, is Las Vegas, where we're streaming from. But if you're from the UK or something, that doesn't work for you so well. But Discord definitely does. So there you go. This concludes the Discord commercial for the evening. Except I'm going to add that join the other Discord as well at fringe.fm/chat. It's just a different sub chat room inside the Discord program. It's the exact same thing, just a similar and different group of people. So that's what we're doing, and that's what we're hanging out with, and we're talking about all kinds of crazy stuff like we always do. So let's see, where are we at? We did that. Okay. A few more things. The secret weapon of this show, like I always say, is you. And the reason why we do this live, why we've always done this show live, is so we can include your calls and your thoughts and your ideas and what's really going on in the world around us. So as part of that, we do have an open line and all the rest. So I appreciate your guys' input as we go. But I'm reading the chat as well, because we're streaming on multiple platforms, including Rockfin, DLive, YouTube, and Twitter. And of course, we're broadcasting live on the Fringe FM, which is digital radio. So big reach out there, lots of people listening. Hi, what's up to everybody out there listening? So here's the thing, right? As we're again, apologies for missing the show yesterday. Let's just pretend it didn't happen, and we'll move on and talk about today. Well, it is 2022, all right? Everybody knows this. This is no secret. This is no conspiracy. However, there's an interesting similarity between, let's say, synchronicity between sustainable living 2022 and a movie known as Soylent Green. And if you've never seen that movie, that's okay. It's a very, very old movie, nearly 50 years old at this point, or maybe 50 years old even. But the thing is, it's one of those dystopian sci-fi future movies, right? And it's based in New York City, and it's rife with overpopulation and food problems and all kinds of things, right? And we'll get into what Soylent Green is as we go tonight, because I think it fits perfectly to the sustainability ideas of the World Economic Forum. Klaus Schwab, like we've heard, he's said things like, you're going to own nothing and you would be happy, right? that sort of thing. And everybody scratches their head like, wait, what? Like, how was that cool? Well, that's just the beginning, all right? Because sustainability means a lot of things, doesn't it? And I before I get into this little tirade, I want you to understand, okay? I'm not against saving the planet, all right? Like, please don't get me wrong. There's so many detractors that listen to me and they're like, oh yeah, just burn it down, right? No, but come on, there's got to be a better way than just voting a particular way, or adopting a particular mindset from, I don't know, some knucklehead on the internet with a microphone, wink wink, right? Like me. But so as always, don't listen to me. I'm not the arbiter of any truth whatsoever. You are. It's your reality. It's you as an individual. You make up your own damn mind, okay? I'm not the truth guy. Don't buy this as, I don't know, whatever you want to buy it as. Don't do it. Trust me, don't do it. Okay, so as we're doing, going through some of this stuff, just checking news cycles like I always do, it turns out that 2022 is the year that the movie Soylent Green was predicted. Like they, again, Charlton Heston. Let's just go to this. Let's just talk about this for a sec before we get into this. But okay. But the thing is, so this one, if Tam Bam's out there, I want to shout out to Tam Bam, because this one, she inspired the show by dropping a link in Discord last night, and it's pretty wild. We'll get to that a little bit later. But here we go. Soylent Green is a 1973 American ecological dystopian thriller directed by Robert Fleischer and starring Charlton Heston, Lee Taylor Young, and Edward G. Robinson in his final film role. Loosely based on the 1966 science fiction novel Make Room by Harry Harrison, the film combines police procedural and science fiction genres, the investigation into the murder of a wealthy businessman, and a dystopian future of dying oceans and year-round humidity due to the greenhouse effect, resulting in pollution, poverty, overpopulation, euthanasia, and depleted resources. In 1973, it won the Nebula Award for Best Dramatic Presentation and the Saturn Award for Best Science Fiction Film. Okay, so that's where we begin, and it is set in the year 2022. 2022. Who would have thought, right, that in the last couple years things have kind of gone sideways a little bit, right? And I don't need to explain. I can think back to about 2 years ago when we were talking about this little thing coming out of Wuhan, China, and nobody was at that point, of course, because, well, they don't talk about it till they can politicize it, right? Surely the powers that be were getting some sort of briefings behind the scenes, but they weren't really talking about it in the media, at least. Remember, Nancy Pelosi famously was calling people racist for not coming down to Chinatown in March of 2020. I bring that up from time to time because the timing is facepalm. But the point is, right, the information's out there. If you want to go get it, look at these news cycles, try and determine what's really happening by kind of reading between the lines, and you can. All right. So we were ahead of that game by a long shot. And 2 years later, welcome to your dystopian future. But it gets even more weird. All right. So pandemic aside and all the rest of that stuff, we're not talking about that tonight. But we are talking about a parallel reality. And, well, that parallel reality is your future sustainability. And regarding not just the Soylent Green here set in 2022, but we're going to talk about sustainability of your diet and what that means. Okay. And so once again, your thoughts on this as we go. Love to hear it. I'm reading the chat in all the places, and well, there you go. Sounds like a bingo, right? Yeah. So that's what we're doing tonight. And if you want to be part of the show at any point, give us a call, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. And all right. So let's go to this article. Now this is not exactly what got us started, but this is where we're at. We'll get to the Tam Bam stuff a little bit later. What's up? Lefty Lucy says the Schwab reality. Exactly right. So here we go. This is from Mashable.com, and this is just January 1st, 2022, a few days ago. Check this out. 2022 is Soylent Green year. Here's why you shouldn't worry, they say. Here's why you shouldn't worry. Yeah, no need to worry, right? There's no problem here. So let's read a little bit of this. If you know the 1973 movie Soylent Green at all, it's likely for the arresting last line. Soylent Green is people, lead actor Charlton Heston bellows as he is carried away on a stretcher, simultaneously becoming a meme and summing up the plot so thoroughly that there's little need to catch the rest of the film. And in parentheses here, Soylent Green is a hot new food product in the starving, overpopulated future New York. Heston's detective character discovers it as it is not made from plankton, as the manufacturer claims. Uh-oh. Less well known is the year Soylent Green is set in, 2022. Yep, that's right. We've reached the point where Hollywood told us that millions of New Yorkers would be fighting each other over protein bars made from the finest processed human. Presuming that a fad for cannibalism doesn't arrive within New York City, next New York City Fashion Week, we can safely say that humanity has successfully avoided the threat of the movie's main premise. Or have we? We're going to get to that in a little while. But okay, just back to this. Instead, we're grappling with the threat of the Omicron variant, which itself sounds like a Charlton Heston movie. All right, so I'm going to play that clip because if you guys have never heard this, it is hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. It's definitely meme worthy. I've screamed this several times in the past as we were talking about eating crickets and sustainability and all the rest of this stuff. But check this out. This is pretty wild. This is the end of that movie, like they're talking about, with Charlton Heston being carried away on a stretcher. Again, he's a detective in this movie, Soylent Green. It's set in the year 2022. Right, 2022, and they're carrying him away on a stretcher, and he's come to the conclusion that Soylent Green, this new food stuff that's being created for people to eat, is indeed not plankton. It is, well, let's hear what he has to say.
Tell everybody, listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them Soylent Green is people. We gotta stop them.
There you go. We got to stop them. Soylent Green is people. So good, so good. And now the thing is, though, right? When we talk about sustainability and we talk about eating things, and again, like I said, don't get me wrong. Like, I believe in the individual, but I also believe that we shouldn't destroy the planet. Like, again, remember, two things can exist at the same time. It doesn't have to be this political paradigm of one thing or the other, or you're a Nazi, right? No, sorry. I reject that notion entirely. Two things can be true at the same time, right? Like, how we get there, of course, is debate and people talking and getting together and deciding what's best for the earth and doing their best for the earth, right? Again, trust me, I'm not that guy. But, right, when you're talking about sustainable eating and this Soylent Green business with Soylent Green is people, well, what happens? What happens? It like everything else, right? You can, again, make the connection to this pandemic, and that, right, some people are just so locked into the fact that everybody has to be vaccinated. Again, like I said, we're not turning it into that, so don't turn it into that, please. Just making a quick parallel that, right, you forget that there are other factors at play for a lot of people, right? And so it's not a one-size-fits-all solution, but neither is, well, some sort of sustainable diet. Because if you look at basically in the sense of, well, us eating something, us being regular people, the plebs, the people without enormous monetary resources versus, well, I don't know, people like Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum, right? You will own nothing and you will be happy, right? Something like that. Like, no, I reject that as well. But the thing is this, right? You think about it and you think in terms of sustainable eating. And you think, well, do you think that at some point when we're eating crickets or mealworms or maggots, which we'll get to all that stuff tonight, by the way, but do you really think that Leonardo DiCaprio on his jet setting to Paris to date a new supermodel every night is going to eat crickets along with the rest of us? You think so? Do you think so? I'm not so sure about that. And so the question becomes, right, and this is the whole point of me bringing up the vaccination stuff. It's turning more into a two-tier society, all right? And so we have a very direct parallel here to Soylent Green, okay, to this sustainable living, that it's, rules for me, rules for thee, but not for me, I think is how the term goes, right? So I don't know. You tell me. Now, basically, Soylent Green is people. 2022, we have this weird thing going on in the last couple of years, the elephant in the room. Like I said, we're not going to talk too much about that. I'm done talking about that. But the thing is this, right? If this sustainable future is eating people, and I know this sounds wild. This is from Soylent Green, all right? This is from a dystopian sci-fi movie, nearly 50 years old at this point, all right? One more year, it will be 50 years old, okay? But it was set in 2022. So there's a whole lot here. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff tonight, including a place called Bite Labs. You guys ever heard of Bite Labs? Yeah, this one's for Tam Bam again. She's out there. What's up, Crab Apple? Going to make sure when Tam Bam jumps in here. She usually wakes up early just to listen to the show, so appreciate that. I know you guys out there, a lot of you stay up late or wake up early to listen to us, and thank you very much for that. I'm honored by that. But the thing is this, right? I don't know. I don't know the answers here, other than I think that some of this stuff is so dystopian funny that we're like, wait, is this real? Can this be real? All right, back to Soylent Green, all right? And there's some strange parallels with not just, again, going to leave the pandemic out of this. We'll go to some other things. We'll talk about population and some other stuff. So as we go tonight, like I said, if you have thoughts on this, what about this sustainable living? Have you seen the movie Soylent Green? What do you think? One more time, 702-957-1037. Did you know Soylent Green was set in the year 2022? Well, welcome to the new year. Happy New Year, my friends. All right, so let's go. One more time, 702-957-1037. Love to hear your thoughts on this. If you want to be part of the show tonight, click the Discord link or get the phone number at troubledminds.org. Let's go to our good friend, Joe in Florida. What's up, my man? Welcome to Troubled Minds. How are you tonight? Oops. Right as I click the button, it hangs up. All right, call back, Joe. We'll put you on the show. Sorry about that. I promise I click to the answer button and not the hang up button. It just dropped at the exact moment. But okay, so anyway, back to this just for a sec, all right? So it says, does this mean, this is from the Mashable article, does this mean Soylent Green got nothing right about our 21st century world? It says, not so fast. As with Blade Runner and its setting, the Los Angeles of 2019, the movie's predictive power is a mixed bag. Let's open it up and cautiously sniff each item. This is a pretty good article, again, from Mashable. As always, you guys can find my links in the description below because transparency is an important thing. If you want to know where I got this information from, I'm not flat out making it up. Check it out. Links in the description. All right. Now let's go back to Joe in Florida. Where's my mouse? There we go. Joe in Florida. Welcome to Troubled Minds. How are you tonight, my friend?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go right ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, loud and clear. You there?
Hello?
Hello? Hold on. Everything should be working. Why are you not hearing me? Test 1, 2.
Hello?
Hello? Why is this not working? You're coming through. I can hear you. I'm broadcasting. Everything should be fine.
All right, I can't hear you.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Joe. Fantastic. Going to get Joe's take on this, and I know he's on the ball with this, but I don't know. Let's see. I'm not hearing the show through the phone as usual. Okay, that's a little strange. What is going on with this? Let me check my sound settings. Live shows, right? You got to love them because you never know exactly what in the world is going on here. So let's see. Let's make sure all my inputs and outputs are appropriate. All right, that looks fine. This looks fine. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So we are taking your phone calls as soon as I fix this. Live shows, gotta love it. 702-957-1037. I'm still checking this out. I'll check it out during the break here, but here's what we're going to do. Oh, yep, there it is. There it is. That's the problem. That's the problem. All right, fixed. Sorry about that, Joe. Setting up my new hardware, change the sound setting. So why don't you give me a call back, and we'll put you on as soon as we come back from a break. Okay, but tonight we're talking about Soylent Green. We're talking about this movie again, Charlton Heston, set in the movie was made in 1973. Think about that, 1973. Next year is 50 years. Is that right? That sounds wild. 1973 wasn't that long ago. So, okay. So, well, I don't know. So we're going to get to the rest of this. We're going to get to sustainable eating. We're going to get to, of course, crickets, maggots, mealworms. And we're going to get to, I don't know, maybe tiny homes. You tell me. But what does the future look like? Not for, again, elites. Not for Klaus Schwab. Not for people like, I don't know, choose your billionaire, right? Choose your favorite billionaire or your least favorite billionaire. Not what does the future look like for those individuals, right? The oligarchs that are running the actual country and running the actual world. What does the future look like for us regular people? And I think that's the thing that really gets my goat with a lot of this stuff, because you end up in this weird space of, okay, I get it, right? But how much do you want the regular person to give up if you're not going to ask Oprah Winfrey to give up her many mansions, right? If you're not going to ask, I don't know, George Clooney to give up his many cars, right? Leo DiCaprio to not give up his private jets. You see what I'm saying? It turns into, again, as always, as I'm always talking about and railing against, a two-tier society, a three-tier, a four-tier. Basically, right, the powers that be want to divide and subdivide and tell people what they can and can't do based on their class, right? Their actual, you're working class? You're a useless eater. You're a pleb. Unwashed masses. Crickets, tiny home for you. You will own nothing and you will be happy. No. That's what we're talking about tonight. We're going to get to some pretty wild stuff, some pretty fun stuff. So as usual, right, kind of poking our nose at ourselves and laughing at ourselves, because what else can you do? If we're marching steadily towards dystopia, you may as well smile at it in the face and give it a good belly laugh, because I don't know what else to do. Yeah, I just don't know what else to do. But okay, that's what we're doing tonight. And once again, if you want to be part of the show, sorry about that. We'll get back to Joe here in just a second. That was a setting that just fixed itself. Well, I fixed it, but it was broken with my new hardware, which I set up yesterday. So forgive me on that, but it is a live show and things happen. So what we're doing tonight is taking your phone calls. If you want to be part of the show, we're talking about Soylent Green. We're talking about sustainable eating, like Lefty Lucy Tracy said in the chat, it's all Soylent Green. KFC prints their chicken. And yeah, love to hear your thoughts on this as we go. 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. This is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. Don't go anywhere. More Soylent Green, sustainable eating, and you when we return. Be right back. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and we are streaming on Rockfin, YouTube, DLive, and Twitter, and we are broadcasting live on the Fringe FM. Tonight, we're talking about Soylent Green is people. And of course, if you don't know what that means, hang tight. There's a whole lot that goes into that. And it was a movie from 1973 with Charlton Heston, and yes, Soylent Green is a food product. And as we talk about this tonight and sustainable eating and living, love to hear your thoughts. 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. We'll put you on the show, just like our good friend Joe. Thanks for testing the phones for me, my friend. Let's go to Joe in Florida. Everything should be fixed. How are you? Welcome to Troubled Minds.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
I heard the beep.
You can't hear me? What? Okay, hold on. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I can fix this. We can do this. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, my goodness. I hear you, but you can't hear me. Is that right? How do we break this twice?
Use the Discord.
Yeah, there you go. Use the Discord. That should work. Jeez. All right. Sorry about that. Broken twice in the same night.
Oh, anyway, unless you cut me off, I'll just...
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. All you,
I'm
sir.
on. Still holding.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, can't hear you. Can't hear the show.
Okay, that's not good. All right. Let me make sure everything looks fine. All right. Just jump into Discord then. Jump into Discord. Sorry about that. I guess the phone line is broken for the evening until I can figure out what the hell's going on. So,
anyway, okay. So I'll shut the computer off and I'll just talk on the phone.
All right. Catch you there.
Real interesting. A couple of days ago, an article came up. The White House announced Monday for addressing plans for meat and poultry, including setting aside $1 billion. And we know that more farming is going into corporate hands. There's less individual farmers, and that leads to a problem. A, all over the place. One, it's controlling price. B is if you concentrate so much food production into a few corporate hands, there's less diversity, which, as we know with supply chains from China, we've been affected by the virus. And who knows if something like that could put our food supply at risk. You know I like my steak. My dad was a butcher. I really don't want Soylent Green because I know what it looks like when you cremate a human body. Because at some point in time, the temperature is just perfect for eating. So, there's that. I know it's terrible because I can't hear the commentary only because I have the computer off. But, and then this morning, I did see without saying much, I did see what Cameron posted, and it was very interesting. I didn't read the article because I was going to the dentist for whatever reason. But, yeah, food supply. I mean, we farm food. We have farmed shrimp. We have farmed fish. I live by the Gulf of Mexico. When red tide hits almost every year now, there's a shortage on fish, and the price goes up. Okay. So the Gulf of Mexico is a pretty large ecosystem. When you start having problems there for just red tide, how precarious is the environment right now? I mean, you would have to ask yourself. So, I mean, I really don't want to be like the movie Snowpiercer, where we're all having to eat cockroaches, if anybody has seen the movie. I have not seen Soylent Green. At some point in time, I wouldn't put it past us. When my dad was a butcher, he would always joke about, he's like, oh, why are you getting McDonald's? That's horse meat. He would always make some kind of joke about all of that. And if you look through the years, in ages past, people have been served things that are not what they say. From fish to beef to any number of things, that I can't think of right now on the top of my head. So how hard would it be for a foreign country to send us rats that we think are chicken nuggets, or chicken tenders? So yeah, it's a scary thought.
Test.
I think we could be there if we end up in some kind of a war that might be partially nuclear and finish, where supply lines are totally diminished, food is poisoned, everything's destroyed, and all that's left is we can eat each other, in some regimented totalitarian society that takes over after the ashes. So I will leave you with that, since I cannot hear you.
That's
maybe
a shame.
if you get it ironed out, or I decide to get my lazy butt to figure out Discord, I could do that after midnight.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, Joe. Sorry for the technical issues. Thank you to Joe in Florida for the phone call and for toughing through me not being able to talk to you. But you did well. You did well. And I think you're right. There's actually a documentary on Netflix, right? I can't remember the name of it, but they were talking about stop eating seafood, right? Because like in 37 years or 27 years or something, there's going to be no more fish left or something like this, right? Which, I mean, come on now. I mean, we eat a lot of fish, right, as people, but there's a lot of fish in the sea, as they say, right? That's like, there's a reason, there's a saying for that. There's a lot of fish in the sea. And again, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying what you think I'm saying. What's going on, guys? I see you in the chat. I hope everybody's doing well. There you go. Lucy says most beef is horse nowadays. And that's what Joe's talking about, is there's a lot of shenanigans. And if there's a seafood shortages and some of the rest of this stuff, well, what does this even mean? Well, back to the funny part of tonight. You know what this means.
Tell everybody. Prisoner Mayhatcher, you gotta tell them Soylent Green is people! We gotta stop them! No more!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no more fish is what that Netflix documentary was saying, and I think it came out a year or two ago, something like that. But anyway, like, it doesn't matter that much, does it? No, it doesn't. All right, so this is where it gets weird. All right, now we're going to get into crickets and mealworms and maggots and all the rest of that in a little bit. All right, but let's get to the heart of the matter. All right, so I was this weird synchronicity of Tam Bam sharing in the Discord last night this thing called Bite Labs. Now, have you guys heard of this? This is pretty wild. Bite Labs. One more time, 702-957-1037 if you want to do like Joe did and just talk, and I'll just listen and then hang up when you're done. But we're taking your phone calls. You can also jump on a Discord and be part of the show there. That's probably the better way at this point, because we can probably have a dialogue with each other. Speaking of Discord, let's go to, there you go. Let's go to Joseph in Iowa. Joseph, welcome to Troubled Minds. Are you there, my friend? Test 1, 2. Joseph, can you hear me? Oh boy. Did everything get reset? I hope not. I certainly hope not. Okay. Oh, he jumped back in. Okay. Joseph, are you there? Test 1, 2. Joseph. All right. Let me check the Discord settings now. Oh my goodness gracious. This is what happens, right? When you take everything apart and plug it all back in and then even test. Yeah, it should be fine. Vio 3. Let's go here. Joseph, test 1, 2. Are you there? Joseph, welcome to Troubled Minds. All right. Welcome. What's happening, my man? Looks like Discord works. Go right ahead. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I was at work and we were driving, and I was thinking, when my brother was speeding, I thought, like, in the future, they're definitely going to have a tax on speeding. In, like, a dystopian future, they're probably going to put, like, a tax on it. Or they're just going to make it so you can't speed at all. So, like, if you speed up in your car and you're going over the speed limit, then it would start hitting you with fees, as you go up. So then you would see people with high status speeding all over the place. They don't care. They'd have, like, a budget for speeding.
Right, exactly. Back to that two-tier society, right? Not so dystopian, by the way. They don't have it here in Nevada. There are some states where they do, some states where they don't. But I was in California for just before Thanksgiving there in the first part of November. And yeah, sure enough, I got sent a ticket in the mail out here in Nevada where I live from California. It wasn't for speeding. It was because of a lane change when there was a HOV. I guess it would like just clicked over at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I changed lanes and went back, and they sent me a ticket. They sent me a ticket in the mail. So there you go. We're not too far away from your prediction there. But yeah, good stuff. Have you seen Soylent Green or heard anything about this?
No.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's an old school one, but it's definitely in the conspiracy community. It's one of those ones where everybody kind of raises their eyebrow, like, no, this can't be real. Is this going to be real? Well, 2022 is the year they predict that we will be eating people, and calling it something else. Your thoughts on that?
I don't know. Maybe I could see them switching off and not eating meat like regular, because factories are bad and stuff, and like stop cutting corners. It makes for a lot of different sub markets, like recycling companies. Like, I actually just came up with an idea. I'm not going to really go into it too much, but there's tons of money out there because these corporations are cutting corners, and I think they're going to get rid of that because it's really bad. There's toxic waters, and I don't know if you heard about it. There was a place in Florida, they filled up like a giant reservoir full of toxic water, and a sinkhole opened up, and it was like draining. I don't know if you talked about it on this show, actually, but it was like draining into the sea.
No, I actually haven't seen that, but that seems legitimate, right? Like we have this stupid notion as people that you were going to just like go dump it in the boonies somewhere and it won't bother anybody. But then it gets into the water systems and sinks down into the ground. It's like, okay, way to go, geniuses. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Go ahead.
Fucking Warren Buffett. I'm like, I shouldn't even, but like they bought out this contract to fix the railroad, and I have a place on the Mississippi, or like it's a family place, and we boat up and down this Mississippi, and like on the areas where there's not many people, like kind of like the boonies, like you said, they throw those rail ties in the river. Because, like, I don't know. I know, like, Europe and stuff, they're more serious. They have rail, like, I saw their equipment. But around here, like, or in the United States, they really don't care. The big corporations don't care.
Yeah, no.
Some of them.
And speaking of a two-tier society, right? Like corporations are allowed to get, like, if you're big enough and you can basically, like you said, you have a budget for speeding tickets, right? And that analogy works all the way up. It's like, okay, well, you've got a budget for paying EPA fines and things like this, right? And they get away with it, right? You and I do that and they catch us. There's no fine that'll get us out of it. Like, there's fine and jail time. So it's like, again, two-tier society,
the
right?
Stupid thing is like, they pay the fine, but nobody goes in with the money. They should have to pay a fine and then have to pay for all the man hours it takes and equipment it takes to haul what they did out of there. It should become way more than what it is. It's literally just a slap on the wrist.
And hit them with a tax penalty. Hit them where it hurts, right? They say they don't tax corporations enough. Well, if you make that type of stuff kind of locked into, if you just don't care and you're just paying the fines, the EPA fines, and just moving on, well, your tax rate just went up 5%. You think they'd stop? I would think. I would think at least deterrence in that manner is hitting them where it hurts, right? Why do all the damage to the environment if you're not going to make the money? And so if you start doing that, well. Yeah. Wild stuff, man. Wild stuff. What else you got for us tonight?
That's the basis of the movie, is they start eating humans?
Yeah, so the basis of the movie is that they have this product is called Soylent Green, and it's like these bars, like protein bars or something, and they're telling the people that are eating it, it's like that it's made of plankton, right? And so everybody's eating these things. And remember, it's overpopulated. There's not enough food. There's climate damage. There's all kinds of problems with like this dystopian future. But what ends up happening as a result is they understand that in the end, the mass abundance of what they could eat are the people, because it's overpopulation. And so, well, they start having like these situations where when you pass away, they whisk you away fresh so they can put you in a factory and turn you into Soylent Green. And so, yes, Soylent Green is people, my friend.
Yeah, that's like what they say in like space. We're going to be living off of algae. Maybe they're just saying it's algae.
Yeah,
and it's like a little filler.
Exactly.
Like a part algae.
Exactly. And the funny part is that, funny, not funny, is that there's this whole version of parallels to again, these multiple tier societies, right? Back to the movie Elysium and things like this, living off planet, us stuck here on this dirty, polluted earth. Like there's a whole lot to this that just is like, come on now. So not just are we feeding overpopulated people as they die to the other people, well, do you think Leo DiCaprio is eating Soylent Green? Or do you think he's got a nice sirloin steak?
Yeah, he's probably still going to be doing it good, because that they're not going to take away, like, you earn your status, I guess, and you can earn it in a different manner, I'm sure, if they were to make a different system. But who knows? Who knows if like the power structure, or like how far you can go. There might be like a limit how much you can get. Maybe you just end up in the suburbs as far as you'll ever get.
Or like we said, the boonies, where they drop the pollution. Maybe that's where you're going to end up. The suburbs become the boonies with the pollution. Great stuff. You were the best, Joseph. I appreciate the phone call. Thanks for jumping onto Discord and dodging the phone, which is having problems tonight apparently. So there you go. You were the best. Everybody, Joseph here has a YouTube channel. It's called Hydro Hose. Links in the description. Give him some love. He does some original music and talks about exactly this type of stuff. So do check it out. Thank you again, Joseph. Always a pleasure. You're the best, my friend.
All right.
Thanks a lot. There you go. Easy as that. If you want to be part of the show, just jump into Discord, because apparently the phone is broken for the time being. I'll try and figure that out as we go. So if you want to be part of the show, troubledminds.org, click the Discord link. Many of you are already part of it, so you could just jump right in the caller queue and we'll get it set up. But okay, so let's get to this. This is the Tam Bam version of the show, if she's out there. She still hasn't showed up and said hi, but she usually wakes up early for us, and we left her hanging yesterday. So I don't blame her for sleeping in. But check this out, right? This gets wild. Let's go to this Byte Labs. Now, okay, now this is a lot. ByteLabs.org. Yep. Eat celebrity meat, it says. Byte Labs grows meat from celebrity tissue samples and uses it to make artisanal salami. What? And yeah, right here. Look at the link. I'm gonna actually link it in the chat, because this is unbelievable. This is one of those ones where everybody's like, no, what? Right? Okay, here we go. I'm linking it in the chat, and you guys can look this up yourself. Exactly. How sick is this? We're going to continue to talk about this, because this is I hate to say it, this is the meaty part of the show tonight, if you know what I mean. So here we go. You've never experienced celebrities like this, straight from their website. It says a celebrity. It all starts with your favorite celebrities and a quick biopsy to obtain tissue samples. They say culture, isolating muscle stem cells. We grow celebrity meat in our proprietary bioreactors. All right. Meats, the third bullet point here, which seems super good. In the tradition of Italian cured meats, we dry, age, and spice our product into finest charcuterie. All right. It says, and check it out. They have this social media presence. They're trying to get celebrities on board. It says, help get celebrities on board. Let's tell the world we want #EatCelebrityMeat. All right. I'm just talking to Mrs. Strange about this tonight before we started. And she's like, and I was like, I know. And she's like, cannibalism. And I was like, maybe. Is it cannibalism if it's made in a lab? Anyway, here you go. There's more here, right? Tweet at your favorite celebrities and support us on Thunderclap, it says. I don't know what Thunderclap is. I'm not going to click that link. But it says James Franco. He's sexy. He's artsy. Let's make him salami. The Franco salami must be smoky, sexy, and smooth. Franco's meat will pair with lean, strong venison. Yes. They got J-Law in here, Jennifer Lawrence, a different type of Hunger Game. They got Kanye West, always push the boundaries in taste, right? Pseudo-cannibalism. What's up, James? Ellen DeGeneres, please welcome the Ellen Salami. All right. And one more time. This is what got me just absolutely dying when I was reading this. I was just like, oh, no way. The future of meat, right? They're calling this eco-friendly. Eco-friendly. Celebrity meat production requires less than 1% of the amount of land needed for traditional farming. Currently, 70% of the world's farmland, almost 30% of the entire Earth's surface, is used for raising animals. Meat production today is simply unsustainable. Unless a radical change is made, the price of meat will eventually rise out of control. Lab-grown meats are the future. And and then it's health. Bite Labs meats are not affected by the growth hormones administered to farm animals, nor are they in contact with pesticides or other chemicals associated with industrial farming. The nutritional content of our products can be rigorously controlled. Farms are dirty and animals prone to infection. Bite Labs is a clean space where we can grow safer, healthier products. Yes, this is so bad. This is so bad, right? This is so bad that this can't be real. Can this be real? And that's what's on my mind tonight as we talk about this. We're talking about sustainable eating, and now we're talking about eat celebrity meat. Go to bitelabs.org and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And what are your thoughts? Having problems with the phone tonight. I'm not sure exactly what's happening. We'll get that fixed up. I'll try and fix it on the way. But you can be part of the show by joining the Discord. Go to troubledminds.org, click the Discord link, and all the jokes in the chat. You guys are cracking me up. So that's what we're doing tonight. We're talking about your sustainable dystopian future. And what does that mean? And is this where we've gone? Think about that. 2022 was the year they predicted Soylent Green is people. All right. 1973 film that actually said 2022 would be a future dystopia. And in that dystopia, they would create a product called Soylent Green made out of plankton. Well, with overpopulation, climate problems, and of course, all the rest of the dystopian future you would expect from a dystopian movie, well, it ends up that yep, you got it. Soylent Green, indeed, is people. And here we have Bite Labs. One more time before we go to a break.
Tell everybody, listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them Soylent Green is people!
There it is.
We gotta stop them! Stop them!
Soylent Green is people. All right, so that's what we're doing tonight. We're talking about all this stuff because it is funny, not funny. And do you think this is real? That's the question, right? Soylent Green, 1973, predicted by 2022. Of course, it's a movie, but right, it's based on a novel previously from 1966. Were they predicting that in 2022 we would actually be eating people? Well, enter bitelabs.org that says on the headline right on their website, eat celebrity meat. Bite Labs grows meat from celebrity tissue samples and uses it to make artisanal salami. Oh, snap. Well, what are your thoughts on this? 702-957-1037. This is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. The phone is kind of broken. Working on it as we go tonight. But you can join the Discord. Thanks to Joseph and for Joe for helping us test that out. And Discord definitely works. Jump on in there. Come say hi. Come give me your thoughts. What do you think about 2022, sustainability, and of course, Soylent Green is people? More Troubled Minds after the break. Don't go anywhere. about the alien abduction phenomenon. Aliens.
The aliens are looking through your eyes and they're accessing your optic nerve. I'm doing that. And through that optic nerve, they're transferring to your brain. Random images as they traverse neurons in the brain.
Alright, so maybe
and they also feel them planting or receiving memories or ideas or images.
Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness.
Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and hello to all of you who may also have troubled minds. What's going on? This is one of the days we get together and talk about all the things we're not allowed to talk about. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific. And what are those things? Aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, the government, academia, the 24-hour news cycle, propaganda, and the general feeling that we live in the upside down. As always, we're taking your phone calls if the phone lines are working. 702-957-1037. I think maybe I fixed it. We'll try James here in a sec. He's going to test it out for us. Appreciate that very much. And, well, what we're doing is you can join the Discord as well, troubledminds.org. That's the confirmed way that's working tonight. Thanks, Joseph, for jumping in there and getting it figured out for us. But the thing is, right, there's a whole lot going on tonight. A whole lot going on in 2022. Like I said, all of the conspiracy theories of the last couple years, the last 5 years, seem to be coming to fruition in the last couple years. And like I said, that's the elephant in the room. We're not going to talk about that directly because, well, they'll probably haul us off to jail. So let's not do that. But instead, we're talking about Soylent Green. Soylent Green. 1973. This film was made, and the plot goes a little something like this, all right? By 2022, the cumulative effects of overpopulation, pollution, and an apparent climate catastrophe have caused severe worldwide shortages of food, water, and housing. There are 40 million people in New York City alone, where only the city's elite can afford spacious apartments, clean water, and natural food, wink wink, at horrendously high prices, of course, with one example in the movie, a jar of strawberry jam fetching $150. The homes of the elite are fortressed with private security, bodyguards for their tenants, and usually include concubines who are referred to as furniture and serve the tenants as slaves. All right. Well, there's that. So that's what we're talking about. And so, oddly enough, again, climate catastrophe, shortages of food, water, and housing, and of course, overpopulation. So, what do they do in this movie? It's a long, drawn out thing because, of course, you can't just do the end of this as the beginning because that's just a heck of a lot less fun. But in the end, Charlton Heston is the main character here, and he's a detective, and he's tracking down what is known as Soylent Green. Right? It starts with a murder investigation, and he stumbles on a number of things which lead him to find out that indeed Soylent Green itself that they're feeding people is not plankton as they describe it. Well, they're doing a 2-in-1 in that overpopulation means that when people pass away, you can just create more food out of the people that have passed. And of course, Soylent Green is people. And that's the end. That's the spoiler. That's the way this movie goes. Like I said, it is a meme. Soylent Green is people. Okay, not hearing anything on the phone. Okay, appreciate that, James. That's just too damn bad. I don't know why everything broke right now, because everything was working earlier, but okay. So we're going to just shelve the phone line tonight. If you want to be part of the show, just jump on the Discord and jump in the voice chat, the caller queue, and then we'll take your calls there. Sorry about that. I did have to take everything apart yesterday with the computer and everything else. So there you go. It is what it is, and here we are. So okay, let's see. All right. So if you want to be part of the show, phone number is not working, but if you go to troubledminds.org, click the Discord link, hop on in here, and you can be part of the show that way. So James, if you want to jump in here, go right ahead, and we can put you on the show on Discord. Appreciate you calling in and testing the phone line for us. Okay. So the thing is this, right? The craziest part about all this is 2022, all right? It's sustainable living. I've talked about tiny homes. I've talked about here's your bowl of crickets, right? Here's your mealworms and your maggots. Well, again, what happens? What happens when we have a 2-tier, 3-tier, 4-tier, 5-tier society, and you are deemed non-essential? All right. The economy that we've created for ourselves, well, that's supposed to be created for ourselves, is not being used in the manner where it's supposed to help regular people, right? The economy that we've created is helping the rich people. All right. And of course, as usual, the legislation that follows is the people that are, the people that are buying their way into more riches, right? And so what's happening to you and me and everybody else? Well, we're getting priced out of our own economy. Okay. And that's part of what all of this dystopian future looks like, right? The UBI of the future. And then what happens when you're no longer necessary? What happens when the tax revenue can no longer support you? Well, as we talk about Soylent Green tonight and 2022, which of course 2022 is the setting in which this Soylent Green movie happened. It was actually this time frame right now. We'll get back to Byte Labs in a moment here, but there's some interesting takes on this Soylent Green stuff from National Review. Okay, and let's look at this. And this is a little bit wild, right? 2022, the Soylent Green year. And yeah, so, well, it goes a little something like this, right? They're talking about, let's see, Heston was afraid that overpopulation was ruining the planet and commissioned the script. And they're talking about, again, 1973, Soylent Green. So Charlton Heston was actually, this was a political motivated drama in that he actually did, with his star power, commission this script and get this movie made. So this is really his baby. But he was afraid at the time that overpopulation was ruining the planet. And the movie begins with a dire notice that the year is 2022 and New York City's population is 40 million people. Okay, 40 million people. This goes out. This goes a little wild, right? That prophecy didn't work out too well. On his Substack, Faster Please, Pithukikas is the guy who wrote this article that they're citing on his Substack page, which again links in the description. He notes that people were concerned about the alleged population bomb. All right, and this was back in the 70s. Okay, but fertility rates. Okay, here we go. So they're saying that they were concerned back then about a population bomb, and it was widespread and bipartisan in the 70s. Everybody believed that this overpopulation was going to be a thing, okay? And here's the thing, too. It continues. And what happened, right? Well, of course, instead of this overpopulation, you've all heard this, fertility rates have plummeted. First in the rich world and then in the developing world as well. The world's most salient example of a mass population fix, China's one-child policy, has lit the fuse on another kind of bomb. And that country will shortly be dealing with the problem of an aging society with too few working-age people to support those who are no longer able to work. You see, interesting. So instead of exactly what we thought it would be back in 1973, it turns out the whole world turned on its head. And instead, again, fertility rates just took a dump for all kinds of reasons, right? One is because of this sustainability issue, right? I was told the whole time I was growing up, it being part of Generation X, is it's irresponsible to have children. It was always this kind of underlying theme of just, well, being a human being, right? If you want to be sustainable, well, everybody can't be having 10 kids because that's just not sustainable, right? This population boom and all the rest of this stuff. But again, it flipped. China's one-child policy, you've got this fertility situation going on, which again is declining like crazy still. So what's going on? What's really happening here? And people say, they throw around the term, and I don't like the term, by the way, depopulation agenda. I don't like it. I don't like the term. I think it's irresponsible to throw it around without, you can bring up the Georgia Guidestones and things like this and, kind of cite some of the things that maybe point that direction. I don't know, though. I don't know. Like, do you think it's possible? So I think it's important to consider that maybe, all right? Like I always say, maybe juice. But do you think this really is a possible thing in that instead of, we're kind of reaping what we sow. Now we made our bed, now we have to lie in it. And in the late 70s, mid 70s, there was this huge fear of overpopulation. And so, do you think that's something somewhere, there was a trigger that maybe stopped fertility rates from increasing, not just again in the developed world, in the third world, in developing nations. So I don't know. Is this really one of those nefarious conspiracies? I don't know. I'm not willing to go there just yet, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. If you want to be part of the show tonight, again, one more time, our actual phone line is broken, so we're not going to do that, but we will go to Discord if anybody wants to hop in there. That would be troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. Many of you are already there. And so I don't know. Let's read a little bit more of this. This is from National Review, and then we'll get back to this Byte Labs, which is absolutely wild, all right? So here we go. All right. So then China's loosening of the one-child policy seems to have come too late. The entire country has now been successfully conditioned to think of small families as the norm. Japan, with a fertility rate of 1.4 births per woman and no appetite for immigrants, is already facing an aging crisis. Funny how the definition of society's supposed greatest problem can change so comprehensively. And it continues. And no thanks to Norman Borlaug, whose efforts were rewarded with the Nobel Peace Prize 3 years before Soylent Green. We aren't running out of food either, and large-scale lab-grown food appears to be just around the corner. And yep, you rarely even hear anyone mention the word overpopulation anymore. The one-time central terror of the thinking classes simply faded away. And question for the class, and this is again from the National Review: which of 2021's most severe worries will seem quaint in 2070? And so you see what I'm talking about here. There's a lot of weirdness going on with this. In that, again, it was back in the late 70s, bipartisan. Everybody agreed. Of course, it was a different time then, and it was easier to get people to agree on things because, the post-truth world and the internet, right? We hadn't even gone there yet. But again, you tell me. The question is there some sort of actual depopulation agenda? And do you think these birth rates at some point are plummeting for a particular reason? Okay. And I didn't want to get into this in this particular thing because I think it's more tongue-in-cheek and funny to talk about eating celebrities, which we'll get back to in just a sec. But do you think there is some nefarious plot out there to maybe depopulate the planet? I think that's the question, right? That's one of the questions. We can throw that into the mix here. And again, do you do you think it is irresponsible to throw that term around without specific direct evidence? All right. I don't know. Is it an inadvertent thing? It doesn't make it any less tragic, but it's still, if we're talking about intent from the leaders of the world, then we have a bigger problem, don't we? And I say leaders of the world. We have a much bigger problem. So I don't know. You tell me. And again, this is I hadn't expected to have to do it without the phone line because, well, that's what we're going to do. But we'll get back to the Bite Farms in just a second. Again, if you want to be part of the show, jump on the Discord, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. I see you there, Lars. What's up over on Discord? Okay, so all right. So this is the Soylent Green year, 2022. Soylent Green is people. Okay, so again, shout out to Tam Bam if she's out there listening to this. So let's go back to this. And do you think this is real? Is this even real? This seems so parody-like. This seems so ridiculous, like the Onion or the Babylon Bee, that this can't be real, can it? Again, bitelabs.org. Eat celebrity meat, it says. Bite Labs grows meat from celebrity tissue samples and uses it to make artisanal salami. Weird. Weird. Gross? Definitely gross. I don't know. So I think the question is, right? I started looking, of course, because I'm not going to just roll with the webpage. You start digging a little bit deeper and start trying to find out what's actually happening here. And is this, again, like Ronald or somebody said over on Rockfin a little bit previously, how does the FDA allow this? Is this real? It doesn't even seem real to me, right? Like, come on. So where do you buy the salami, right? Where do you buy it? Couldn't you get like the salami, like the James Franco salami, and send like a piece of it to 23andMe and see what happens? You know what I mean, or something like that. Where do I buy this salami? I couldn't find any. I couldn't find any for sale. And so if that's the case, it makes you wonder if this is real at all. Is this some sort of laughing at us parody of, well, Soylent Green? And notably and interestingly and frightening enough, their website features a whole ton of green. Their color scheme is green. So yeah, you tell me. Yes, funny, not funny, right? But it doesn't seem like this could be true. But do you think it could be? Do you think that they're actually taking tissue samples from celebrities and creating salami out of it? Right? That sounds ridiculous. But there's a website up, right? And not only that, let's play. I'm going to let this roll in the background here. Let's see. Let's loop this and let's just play it. And you guys can see if you're watching on the stream. It's okay. It's there you go. There's the it's got a lot of green in it. It almost seems like this is a parody setup, right, of a future version of Soylent Green. And that when this happens, people kind of won't care, right? Are we going to actually take celebrity cells, grow them into muscles in a laboratory, making robust, flavorful, healthy, eco-friendly salami? That's what their video says. I'm going to just let it roll. We bring you celebrity meat. Bite Labs. Now again, right? So I checked out their YouTube channel. This video was actually put up in 2014. So this is not brand new. But it does seem pertinent to bring it up and talk about it in the beginning of 2022 because, again, we've got the Soylent Green link. So it almost seems like these guys set up this video for this exact moment, for this exact conversation. What? This can't be real, can it? This absolutely cannot be real. I don't want to believe it, and so, well, that's just the way it is. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say no. Okay, so just checking out the. Let's see. Okay. Just checking out the chat. What's going on, guys? Okay, so I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Is it that strange? Is it one of those weird situations where this is not as bizarre as it seems because it's? We got jokes. Dawn says, one question: does Kevin Bacon taste like? Nah, never mind. We got jokes out there. All right. So the thing, I don't know. This is what I'm saying. Again, links in the description. You guys can check it out. I'm not making this stuff up. But I started digging, right? And I started looking into this, and there's some theories. And that, of course, like I said, if this was available and celebrities were actually like providing tissue samples to create salami, right? In a sustainable way, right? Eco-friendly salami, celebrity meat. Couldn't you get it in a store at some point? Wouldn't you be able to go somewhere and buy this? I looked. I couldn't find it. even directly on their website, there's not like now featured at Walmart or anything like that. There's none of that. So, right. This is a joke. This has to be a joke, right? I don't know. It's definitely a sick joke at the very least. But do you think it could be real? And that's part of the weirdness of this, the synchronicity of this conversation. In that it is 2022. In that this came to my attention last night. Again, like a Tam Bam dropped it in the chat and Discord, and I was like, "What in the world is this? You got to be kidding me!" But is this one of those situations where it's real? Do you think they're maybe in some sort of like seed stage startup sort of situation where it takes years to develop this? And because once you develop anything, right, in production levels, then you have to scale it. And scaling is always the hardest part, right? Which is why, by the way, I do a radio show, because scaling a radio show, super easy. Super easy. I'm lazy. Meaning this. If you talk into a microphone, 0 people can listen to you. But also, 1 million people could listen to you. It's the same thing, right? It kind of doesn't matter. But scaling something like a physical product, it's a ton. Like you've got supply chains, you've got laboratories, and in this case, you got all kinds of crazy things, right? But I don't know. Could this actually be real? We bring you Celebrity Meat. So I did check out their YouTube channel, and they only have this one video, which I'm playing, and you can see it. It has a lot of green. Their entire color scheme is green. Is that because like eco-friendly, or is that because Soylent Green is people? That's the weirdness here. That's the weirdness. I don't know. As usual, let's go to the chat. How you guys doing? Let's see. Liam Martin, the famous Liam Martin says, that's some weird dark magic god affronting thing. And yeah, yep, right. It does seem strange. This does seem strange to me that this didn't get like a worldwide freak out, right? Like you think about all kinds of things the world freaks out about. If this was real, don't you think Twitter would be going into like like a I hate to say it. Don't you think Twitter would be going into a feeding frenzy over this if this was a real thing? I don't think this is real. No. Again, so many problems. Like Ronald said over on Rockfin. How's the FDA allow this? Like my wife said, cannibalism. like oh, okay, all right. And I said, maybe is it cannibalism if you take the cells of James Franco and then make them into salami? You tell me. That's what's on my mind tonight. And again, with the weirdness of the Soylent Green prediction from 1973, that by 2022 we would be overpopulated, and yep, you guessed it, Soylent Green is people. And I'm going to play that clip one more time because I've got it and it's hilarious. And this is the spoiler alert from a very old movie. What's up, MJ? Gross. Yes, exactly. This is Charlton Heston at the end of Soylent Green, and we're going to hear him being carried out on a stretcher as he tries to warn the world what he figured out Soylent Green actually was. Plankton is what they said. What he found out is...
Tell everybody. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them Soylent Green is people! We gotta stop them somehow!
You gotta stop them somehow. Soylent Green is people! It's so funny. I mean, it's funny, not funny, right? But then you got this. You got BiteLabs.org. Are we really eating celebrity meat? And here's another interesting thing, too. Like Joe said when he called in, they could be serving us rats as chicken nuggets or whatever. And how would we know? How would we know, right? Again, what are we going to do? Do you have your own DNA laboratory? You can go check it out like they did with the Subway tuna and found out there was like no tuna DNA in their tuna sandwich. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Phone lines are broken if you want to be part of the show. Troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. I don't know. You tell me. As we consider this, could this be real? BiteLabs.org selling celebrity meat built in a lab off of tissue samples. Real or nah? I would say 702-957-1037, but the phone line's broken, so go to troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. I'd love to hear your thoughts. This is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. More Soylent Green, celebrity meat, and you when we return. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and we are streaming on Rockfin, YouTube, DLive, and Twitter, and we are broadcasting live on the Fringe FM. And tonight, we're talking about Soylent Green, a dystopian 1973 movie set in New York City in 2022. Ring a bell? 2022. Happy New Year. And by the way, Soylent Green was a product built for an overpopulated world. The company named Soylent Green in the movie said it was plankton. People were eating these bars of plankton, and they said they had solved the world's hunger issues. Well, it turns out Charlton Heston, the main character in the film itself, was investigating, and he came upon some interesting things about the product called Soylent Green. And of course, let's play this just so you know what we're talking about, and we'll get back to Bite Labs and the rest of this in just a sec. But this is what the final scene of Soylent Green, as they're dragging Charlton Heston out on a stretcher, and spoiler alert for a movie from 1973, but this is meme-worthy and it's amazing, and this is what he's trying to warn the world of as they take him out in a sea of people on a stretcher. Here we go.
Tell everybody. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them Soylent Green is people! We gotta stop them somehow!
Soylent Green is people! You gotta tell them! You gotta tell them! We gotta stop them! There you go. And so we've got this celebrity. Yeah, you got it. By the way, thank you. Appreciate that. Angela sent this. There's a product that Walmart sells called Soylent, and it's plant protein, 39 essential nutrients. And it looks like they have mint chocolate flavor, ready to drink meal. And what's that? Is that creamy chocolate? Is the other? Well. Funny, not funny? Anyway, that's what we're talking about tonight, and this Bite Labs. I have a hard time believing this is real for a lot of reasons, because I can't find any celebrity meat. And what that means is, BiteLabs.org says they say they're grows meat from celebrity tissue samples and uses it to make salami. Enter all the salami jokes here. But they've got actual individuals down below: James Franco, Jennifer Lawrence, Kanye West, and Ellen DeGeneres. And they have a tweet at celebrities at #EatCelebrityMeat to, try and get more celebrities on board. So like I said, the reason I think this is fake, right, among many reasons, but you can't buy it anywhere, right? Where is my James Franco salami? Where is it? Where is it? I want to know. I demand a recount. All right. It's not out there. So anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Pretty wild stuff. Phone line is broken. We are doing Discord tonight. Go to troubledminds.org, click the Discord link. It's also a good time to get yourself into the Discord if you have not yet. Tons of amazing people are there, and we're hanging out most times over there, having a hell of a time. So there you go. Matt says James Franco Franks. Exactly right. Speaking of amazing people, let's go to our good friend James Salcedo of Salcedo Paranormal. What's up, my man? Welcome to Troubled Minds. How are you tonight?
I'm okay. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Loud and clear. I think everything's actually working with the Discord. I have no idea why the phone line broke. We'll have to fix that another time. But what do you think, man? Are you lining up? Are you trying to go down tomorrow to the store to find some celebrity meat, or does this give you the willies?
Oh, no, I will never willingly go to any store or restaurant for any of that. And I hope that you are right about it not being a thing right now. But because the thing that, to me, that scares me about that is if they wanted to just kind of slip it through without telling people. If you think of all the big food corporations are out there, whether it's fast food or like, I don't know what you would call them, but like industrial food, like cafeteria food companies out there. That's the scary part to me.
Yeah, like Joe was saying. He's like, hey, we could be eating chicken nuggets that are not chicken nuggets, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Which causes a whole other set of problems. And isn't that what the FDA is for? So things like this don't happen. I mean, come on. I mean, think about it. I guess in terms, I guess think of this whole Bite Labs celebrity meat thing. Do you think there are moral implications here, or is it just like, hey, it's not what you think it is because it's lab grown? It's like somebody mentioned earlier in the chat that people are growing, beef in labs now, right? And it's DNA from a cow, but it's not like a living thing, and so it's not really a cow, is it? It's like lab-grown schmeat or something, right? So do you think if it was real, you think there are moral implications here?
I think that there are, but also I worry about anything grown in a lab, because how do we know that? I mean, labs are. How do we know the lab is totally sterilized? How do we know everything is clean?
Right.
And to the level that you would want for making food.
Right. Like, is it a kosher lab, if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, basically. I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
What chemicals do they use to keep it clean?
Right. And what actual DNA are they putting in the chicken nuggets? That's what I want to know. And I'm sure you heard this. We talked about this on the news show not too long ago, and I said it just a little while ago on this show. Is they did the DNA test on Subway tuna, right? Somebody went in, ordered some Subway tuna, said no bun, just give me scoops of tuna in a little cup. They took it away. They did DNA tests on the Subway tuna, and they found that there was a negligible amount of actual tuna DNA in their tuna. So what the hell is it, man? What are we eating, right?
That's sad, because I've it's funny, I used to really like Subway, but over the years I don't like them as much as I used to. I don't know if their standards have, I don't know. This isn't really meant to be just a bashing of Subway, but that's interesting that was found, because it just makes me wonder. But yeah, that's not good.
That's not good. That's not good. And I think the question that I asked too about the moral implications of eating celebrity meat, is there a problem here? Is it morally a moral malfunction? Let's call it, because why not? Because I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. But look, I'm going to say double hell yes. Get that crap out of here, man. Nobody's doing this. This can't be real. This can't be real. Come on. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't like it, because it almost, even if it is lab grown, it's still you're getting people used to the idea of eating people.
Exactly, right? It's normalizing cannibalism at some point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is what's a good word? Help me with some words. Is reprehensible? Is that a good word?
That's a good word.
That's a good word. Is there another good word you've got for this? There's got to be another good word for this.
Inhumane.
Inhumane.
Considering it's humans that they're talking about, but it's there you go.
There you go. Disgusting comes to mind.
Yeah, that works. Yeah,
there's lots of good words here. I don't know. Like I said, I have a problem believing this is actually real, because there's so many problems with this. But like you said, if this is possible and we're doing this with livestock. Promethean says yummy is a good word. I don't know about that, but they're doing it with livestock. They're doing it with cow DNA in cells now in labs, and that's what this lab grown meat is. This schmeat, right? So it makes you wonder if this has actually been tried somewhere, right? And maybe these underground laboratories, right? We talk about the billionaire weirdos that are like trying crazy stuff, where people aren't watching. You think people have actually tried this before?
It makes me think of any kind of facility that is supposed to be totally like black budget or whatever. If you could find a way to make food without relying on outside sources, that's scary right there as it is. And I can see, and with the things that different agencies and companies have done over the years, with as far as experimentation on animals and people and everything else, I wouldn't put it past anyone to do that.
Yeah, they were doing like in Russia in like the 60s. I think they did like, transplanted a dog on a head of one dog onto another dog and kept it alive for a week, right? Like, I mean, if they're doing stuff like that, you would expect at some point somebody had tried something sick like this. I don't know. And this is part of what I mean about all this when we talk about not trusting the powers that be, right? Not trusting the folks that are, supposedly the FDA or whatever that are supposed to be keeping things like this from happening. How the hell would you know? How the hell would you know, man? I mean, you season it up just right. Tastes like chicken, right? Am I right? I mean, I don't know, but that's gross. But like, you know what I mean? The terrifying part is, how would you know? I don't know, bro. It's sick, right? This is all sick.
Yeah.
And,
definitely.
Soylent Green is people. You ever saw that movie?
I have not. But that's quite the performance there in that little clip you've been playing. I don't know how they did that with a straight face.
Charlton Heston. It was his movie, his baby. He pushed that through. Yeah. And the crazy part is they thought in the early, mid, and late 70s that overpopulation was going to be a thing. And so this was like a real concern that when there's too many people and not enough food, what is the end result is people will start eating people. Well, we did a show not too long ago talking about cannibalism on Mars, didn't we?
Yeah. If they can do it there, I mean, who knows?
Then you could do it anywhere. Oh, geez. Yeah. Geez. Hilarious, funny, not funny. What else you got for us, my friend?
That's it. No, I just thought I'd call in and kill some time there for you, and just very interesting topic. Not something I'd want to cover all the time, but yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one to change things up a bit.
It was too synchronistic. Again, we've got Soylent Green predicted in 2022, and Soylent Green is people. All right, but then last night, Tam Bam in the chat dropped this in Discord randomly, bitelabs.org. I was like, how can I not do this today? It seems like it smacked me in the face and begged for it, right? Well, here we go.
Well, what's funny is it stemmed from our constant conversations of food. So, in a way, for this server, it kind of makes sense that it would maybe lead to there eventually.
Well, here we are. And my apologies, James. I didn't want to take us there, but well, it was too good not to. And here we are. I appreciate the phone call. Thanks for testing the phone for me. Thanks for jumping into Discord. Thanks for being bros. Thanks for being you. James here has a podcast called Salcedo Paranormal. He does paranormal stuff 5 nights a week. Give him some love. Check it out. Scroll down. Links in the description. He's on a madman on a mission, getting downloads and about to take over the world. You're the best, my friend. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for jumping in here.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too, my man. All right. Well, we're still talking about this. You tell me. So the question is this. We've got this bitelabs.org. We're talking about Soylent Green as people. We're talking about sustainability in 2022. And again, the synchronicity of all of it is bizarre because 1973 Soylent Green is set in the year 2022. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. What's up, Elizabeth? Let's see. How you doing? I see everybody out there in the chat. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's well. But okay, so I was looking into this, right? And the thing is, it gets even more weird. Well, or maybe less weird because you start digging, right? So you go to the one thing and, so you check out their website first and then you go to their YouTube channel and they have 74,000 views. This Bite Labs Eat Celebrity Meat video was published March 9th, 2014, and it's the only video on their YouTube channel. Like I said, I looked and I couldn't find any sort of Bite Labs meat available on the open market. Well, I wasn't going to buy some, but I wanted to see if it was available for sale, and of course not, at least not that we know of. Wink, wink. But okay, so then I found this, right? And there's this futurology, and there's a thread here. This is from 8 years ago, and this is when this came out, of course. But BiteLabs.org, a hypothetical startup venture trying to promote lab-grown meat by creating sausages grown from celebrity biopsies. It says, hoax or not, it raises strange ethical questions. And that's exactly the point, right? That's the point of this is real. I don't think so. But it does kind of start to really frame this conversation in a way that what is Schmeat, right? And so again, I'm not happy about butchering, tens of millions of animals every year, right, to feed everybody, or billions of animals, or whatever the damn number is, right? That's less good. I love animals, right? But then, well, what happens when we have the sustainable living and everything turns to Schmeat, right? Or this fake lab-grown something. It does. It kind of brings up a lot of questions, doesn't it? But yeah, there it is. Of course. And the only comment clearly on this Reddit thread from 8 years ago is, oh, that big sausage of yours seems delicious. Of course. Right? Of course. Because it's such an easy joke. If we're making celebrity meat, and remember, we've got James Franco, Jennifer Lawrence, Kanye West, and Ellen DeGeneres. Yeah, there you go. Those are the celebrities they're featuring on the website. And by the way, it says that somewhere down there in the disclaimers that they are not supporting these, something or other. Disclaimer about these celebrities or some or other, so they don't get sued. But okay, anyway, so then this realorsatire.com, and this is what led me down as I kept looking into this, and I was like, okay, now these guys think that this BiteLabs.org is satire. And it seems that way to me. Like I said, no product on the open market, no celebrities themselves actually pushing this, but it does actually bring about some more questions, right? Which, again, let's read some of this from realorsatire.com. And although not a news site, I figured I'd go ahead and throw our hat in the ring about BiteLabs.org. It says, have you seen, how many of you saw the movie Antiviral? The premise is this. In a dystopian, celebrity-obsessed near future, Sid March is employed by the Lucas Clinic, a company which purchases viruses and other pathogens from celebrities who fall ill, in order to inject them into clients who desire a connection with celebrities. How sick is that? Continues, not to be one-upped, the folks at BiteLabs.org have opted for something that is equally disturbing, yet just as fascinating a premise for a movie as was Antiviral, despite having been the premise of a couple episodes in the great comedy show Better Off Ted. It says it's likely fake. I find it interesting that they say it's likely fake, right? There's still some doubt here. People are like, wait, is this real? This can't be real, can it? It doesn't seem like it. It continues, but it's likely a double fake, meaning it's not only meant to be a commentary on public consumption of celebrityism, but also a commentary on how far a celebrity will go to be consumed. And there you go, quote, quote, consumed. It says, I bet BiteLabs has been contacted by the PR team of many celebrities regarding this, and I bet that is partly the point. The news site mentions New Harvest as a partner, yet according to a USA Today article, New Harvest director Isha Dattar said BiteLabs has yet to speak with her organization. Okay, so we have some things falling apart here with this story. So anyway, from a Slate.com article, according to Kevin from the BiteLabs team, the site is partly a commentary on food culture, the ethics of meat, and the way celebrity culture is consumed. But the part about making celebrity meat is real. That sort of clearance would be necessary for something like this to even think of a beginning would be staggering. Discussion on whether or not this is cannibalism would likely have caused a ruckus long before now. And they are correct in saying, people freaking out over genetically modified tomatoes, and yet there have been no discussions about celebrity-filled meat products. Exactly. And like I said, the Twitter sphere would be in a lather. And yeah. What's up, Matt? I see you there. All right. So I don't know. Again, lots of questions regarding this. Sorry for the gory topic tonight. I just thought it was way too synchronistic to not really jump on this, because once again, if we have this situation with Soylent Green predicting 2022 would be the population boom that we couldn't sustain, well, sustainable living becomes Soylent Green is people. I'll play that one more time before we get out of here tonight. But I don't know. I think thanks again to Joe and James for the phone calls, and Joseph. Very good stuff. I just wish that we had more phone line appropriate stuff going on, because the phone line's broken. So it's all Discord all the time tonight. And if you want to be part of the show, we're still taking your calls at troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link and we'll put you on the show. But I don't know, right? Super weird. There's a lot going on with this, and it kind of opens up a lot of questions about people and their quest for fame, right? How much is enough? Is it ever too much? About celebrities maybe falling for hoaxes like this, if they're hoaxes, about all kinds of things. I think it's pretty strange that we find ourselves in a world that is so clown world upside down sort of situation that it's difficult to determine anymore what's even real, because things have just gone so far off the rails in so many ways, right? Politically and everything. The thing is just everything's turned upside down and inside out. And so we see something like this, like Byte Labs, and you would expect, it'd be an easy call. This is like the Onion. This is like the Babylon Bee. They're making fun of us, right? You'd expect that it would be easy to determine that. But again, since the world is so nuts recently, in the last 10 years, let's say, it doesn't seem ridiculous anymore, does it? And I think that's part of the commentary here, is that, when is too ridiculous, right? Or when is ridiculous too ridiculous? I don't know. And I think, again, the fact that we pause and have to think about it and consider that this might be a real thing disturbs me. It rattles me about just kind of breaking down society as a function of ethics at all. I mean... Yeah, I mean, stuff happens every single day that we just scratch our head thinking, what was this about? Well, then this pops up, right? Again, it's from 2014. This is from a long time ago. And so they were making fun of us back in 2014 regarding this. But they didn't even know that all the rest of this stuff would happen in the media and everything else. So it seems like these guys at Byte Labs were way ahead of the game. And for us to even have to consider that this might be real causes me some heartache. Causes me some headache, and that's what Troubled Minds is all about. And of course, as we finish tonight, I see you, Jennifer. We'll be right with you. Thanks for hanging tight there. I don't want to cut you off as soon as we start your phone call. We got Jennifer on Discord, which we'll go to in just a moment here. But the question is this, as we finish, right? You got to ask yourself, when something like this pops up, we're taking celebrity cell cultures and creating edible salami in a laboratory, right? Like, just think about how ridiculous that sounds. But in clown world, in the upside down, we have to pause and we have to think, wait a minute, what is really going on right about now? Is this the world we live in? And you bet your bippy, this is the world we live in. I don't know. Other than that, lots more to think about, lots to talk about as always. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep punching and keep considering all the things as we do. But as for now, the bad news is we're done. If you're listening to us on the Fringe FM, stay tuned for Joe Roop Lighting the Void. The good news is, if you're listening to us on any other platform, stay tuned for a third hour of Troubled Minds. We've got Jennifer on the line here. We're going to go to her as soon as we take a break. She's actually in the attic freezing, so we'll probably just skip the break and go straight to Jennifer. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. What do you think? Is this clown world upside down so far off the rails that we have to stop and consider people eating people? And as we finish, I didn't get to play the clip, but Soylent Green is people. What in the world? Yep, clown world. Here we come. Thanks for listening. As you know, Monday through Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific. So we'll be back tomorrow night with more Troubled Minds. And as we finish, be sure, be strong, be true. Thank you for listening. From our Troubled Minds to yours, have a great night. This is Michael Strange from Troubled Minds. Did you hear that scientists recently discovered radio waves coming from Proxima Centauri? Well, I cannot confirm nor deny. We are broadcasting from that neck of the woods. You are listening to KTLK, The Fringe FM. All right, we used to take a break here. We're going to skip the break and go to Jennifer. I think she's probably freezing in the attic waiting for the phone call here. Appreciate that. So we'll go to Jennifer in just a sec. And we're taking your calls, your thoughts on Discord. The phone line is broken, and we're just hanging out, talking about, just a casual Wednesday on Troubled Minds, talking about lab-grown cannibalism. WTF is all this about. Anyway, we'll take a break after this. Jennifer in Missouri, welcome to Troubled Minds. How are you tonight?
Hey, Mike. This is a really dark topic. I almost backed out.
Yeah, you think? You think? So the good news here is that it's satire. Like this is not real. But it does, again, bring some disturbing thoughts. So thank you for toughing it out. Thanks for hopping in here and talking about this. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, as far as have they been doing it in the past, I remember back in like 2017, I think, or 2018, I'd come across some stuff from, it was Cinemix, I think, which is a company that it's like lab created flavorants for foods, popular foods like Tropicana, Hall's Cough Drops, Pepsi, on and on and on. And there came out that they may have been using something kind of like what you're talking about with like human tissues as a flavorant in the food products. And it was this big to-do, and there was just all kinds of stuff about it. So I remember that coming out and everybody freaking out about that kind of. But there were other things that have come up in the past, too, as far as them using really nefarious means to visualize what the kind of future we may have to enter into in their minds, I don't know who they is necessarily, but for example, like using, this is a true thing, too. This is a true thing. The Cinemix thing was kind of on the fringe. People weren't really sure, but it was a bit, people were like, what's the word where you don't, never mind, where you just you don't buy the product, that kind of thing. But I guess the farms in Washington State, they were talking about using humans as fertilizer and compost. So like when somebody died, you could use them literally as compost for farms. And I thought that was just horrific. The idea that might be boycott. Thank you, James. Boycott was the word. But anyway, though, like using people as compost when they pass away, which is just, I know that we're going to put them in the ground anyway, but the idea of literally using them as a supply chain like that, I thought was really just a whole nother level we're going to. And then there were stories too that came out that I thought of when you're talking about this, as far as sustainability, that there were some hospitals in the UK, and this was from like New York Post and Independent UK and several other sites too, because I went and checked it again before I was going to bring it up, where they were using people who had died in the hospital. But I don't want to say it, but like certain types of people that had died in the hospital, in their incinerators, like something over 15,000 bodies or something like that, in their incinerators to heat the hospital. And it sounds unbelievable, but Google it. And it's just really strange. But if you think back, about this concept of trying to sustain society, by feeding society to itself, and this threat of cannibalism that's always kind of just around the edge for some reason. It comes up quite a bit. Like there have been several songs written about it, like that Kesha wrote a cannibal song, and there have been all kinds of rumors about hotel rooms where they have like just all kinds of stuff. And you have the spirit cooking thing where they have photos of these people, like the elites. I don't know if you would, however you want to think about it, pretending to be eating people. So it's really creepy that it's always just hanging around the edges. But one more thing, though, about it is like I know that cat food and dog food, the cheaper brands, the more economical brands, that they do or can. I've heard that they do. But check it out, Google all this if you want to make sure. But with the cat and dog food, that they put euthanized cats and dogs into some of the food, or even roadkill. They're constantly like cycling stuff through. So it's unbelievable that even our, our own animals and livestock have been cannibalizing kind of. It's just creepy that they think to do this stuff to begin with, you know?
Yeah, or I've heard ground chicken, feeding it back to like the chickens, things like this, right? Like, and exactly right. Like, is there no decency? Like, you know, like back to McCarthy, right? Have you no sense of decency? Well, there's something to be said for decency. I mean, for crying out loud, right? Like this is this is gross. This is gross.
Yeah, it's really sad. And really, I don't know. I don't think we have to come to these kind of... We don't have to go to that level. I mean, if they would just incentivize farming, you know, or I don't know, anything else but, you know, normalizing cannibalism. Like the concept of it. And it's always creeping around the edges. It's really strange. You know, like Hannibal Lecter is based off of the General Hannibal, I guess, who was, you know, like during the Punic Wars, encouraged that the soldiers would just eat each other, you know, as they were going across. As they fall, they'll just eat each other. And that's kind of the premise of, you know, Thomas Harris's the Hannibal the Cannibal thing. And it's always hanging around in the background, you know, the symbolism of it and the idea that they maybe... Yeah, and there was a big scare at some of the fast food restaurants. People had mentioned that, where they had found human DNA in the food, but they were saying, you know, that could have been like just from the environment or something. But it's always eerie to think about, and I don't know. Yeah, dark stuff.
It is dark, and you know me when I laugh. I may as well be crying.
You have to kind of, you know, to put it off to like it's
exactly. If you're not laughing, you're crying.
None of us are for it.
No, absolutely not. But you got to admit, though, in the weirdness of this upside down clown world, is that if you have to pause and think about it, like that's literally the commentary on the state of the world. It's like, wait, is this real or is this not? Right? Like we're not even like quick to pick up parody anymore because that shit is so upside down. Wild, yeah. Yeah.
One thing I just thought of too is kind of creepy is they've talked about, you know, like the animals, like the cattle, when they were having like the mad cow breakout, and they were saying that they had been cannibalizing, like that there had been possibility that they'd been putting like into their feed, like the cattle back into their feed. And there are different diseases, you know, from the prion diseases from people who have possibly, you know, been cannibals or eaten. This is such a dark topic, but eaten like brains or something like that, and they get these prions themselves that kind of look like mad cow disease, but in humans resembles Alzheimer's, and I thought that was, or Parkinson's, and I thought that was really creepy because it makes you wonder, like, so you know, I don't know, it's ew, isn't it?
It's ew. We'll actually get off of this so we can make this a little more lighthearted. We're going to get into entomophagy, which is known as eating insects. So we'll get to that as a better sustainability option, because again, it's parody. This is parody, and it's bad parody, and it's sad that we have to pause and even think about it for just an instant. But I thought it was more telling that we look at this and go, is this real? Amazing stuff.
You have to.
Right?
You have to look at it because it's something that is hanging in it does this stuff. There are things going on. You know, it's just really weird when you're like, oh, you know, you really focus in on it. It's really strange. But yeah, have a good night. Thank you so much, Mike. Great show.
Thanks for sticking through it. Sorry for grossing you out. Have a great night. Jennifer here has a YouTube channel. Check it out. Link is in the description. Just scroll down. She talks about all kinds of amazing stuff as well on her channel. So go give her some love and check that out. And thank you for the phone call and the thoughts here. So we're going to get to more sustainability here and entomophagy and eating insects and some of these other things that the media has kind of been just kind of, let's say, dangling in our face, right? Again, like remember the CNN thing and the guy, whoever that guy was, that like was eating human brains with some cannibal tribe or some bullshit like this for like clicks, for clickbait. And that's the sick world we live in. It's like, really? You're going to do shit like this for publicity? That's the type of stuff that just like you have to pause. You have to consider like, what the hell is really going on right now? Like, what is this world we live in? Because this is not something that we should be considering as a real thing, right? But we have to pause. We have to wait. Upside down clown world is exactly that. And here we are. Thank you again, Jennifer, Joseph, James, Joe, and I think that's all. If I missed you, well, yell at me in the chat. But so we're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and thank you, Jennifer, for hopping in here. Sorry for grossing everybody out. We're going to move on to some other stuff, including sustainable eating insects. so we'll get to that in a sec. You'll own nothing in your tiny home, eating your bowl of insect gruel, and you will be happy. So, going to take a quick 2-minute break. More Troubled Minds on the way. Do what you got to do. Refill the maybe juice. Tuck the kids into bed. Go grab yourself some popcorn. Grab a blanket. Cozy up. We got one more hour of Troubled Minds coming up. So don't go anywhere. More? Well, let's get off the cannibalism. But let's talk about more sustainable eating and you on the way. More Troubled Minds in 2 minutes. Be right back. All right, welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and we are streaming on Rockfin, YouTube, D-Live, and Twitter. And what are we doing here? Well, we're talking about all kinds of sick stuff tonight. And Promethean has it right. He says, "What the hell is going on here?" says the man with the meat grinder graphic behind him. You're correct. You are correct. What the hell is going on here? So we're going to move on from that. I'll even change that graphic if you really want me to. Let's take a vote in the chat. You guys want me to change the meat grinder graphic behind me? Because I can do that. We have that technology. I'll swap it to something a little more palatable, if you know what I mean, with the sick jokes tonight. But okay, so you let me know. I have no problem doing that. Promethean says, "I've eaten roasted crickets and ants. Both had a nutty flavor." Then here come the nutty jokes. Jay in New York, what's up, brother? He says, "Sure, it is insects. That's what they want you to think." Right, exactly. Oh boy, yeah. No, this topic is a little bit dark, and that's why I think that it's weirdness. It's weird that, like I said, the whole thing that really just strikes me is the fact that we have to stop to consider it. So anyway, let's go back to sustainable eating, and we'll get off of the. Let's actually just let's swap out the graphic. just to make sure we'll get off the nastiness. I know we're like more of a visual stream after the radio hour, so let's do this. Let's put up a new graphic real quick and get the grossness. There we go. Let's try this. Let's see. Is that good? Yeah, that'll work. We'll roll with that. A little more digital, and this is the one I used for the other channel I do. So let's do this. All right, so there you go. Turn it off the meat grinder and go into something a little more digital. Okay, so still thoughts tonight. All right, there's some pretty weirdness in this, in that what is the thing, right? In that sustainable eating, right? Like that becomes part of the issue, right? Like if you ask some sick mofos, they're going to tell you, yeah, that's sustainable, and you're like, well, but it's also disgusting. It's also actually deplorable, right? It's actually, right? There's a lot of things that you can say about it, and a lot of words. You can pull a lot of 50-cent words out of your back pocket and describe it in this way. But I don't know. I think there's something to this that really hits at your gut. It hits home, It's like everybody loves people. Everybody has people they love. And then when you start talking about them in terms of this, it's not good. So anyway, let's go on to some more sustainable eating. We'll do this. Entomophagy. Eating insects is a technical term for eating insects. Humans have harvested the eggs, larvae, pupae, and adults of certain insect species from forests and other suitable habitats to eat for thousands of years. This practice is still common in many tropical countries where certain insect species grow to large sizes, and they are abundant and relatively easy to harvest year-round. Insects as food are an excellent source of proteins, vitamins, fats, and essential minerals. There's a strong case in favor of mass rearing insects for food, as this practice is probably less environmentally damaging than other forms of protein production, it says. This is from Riverside. Of course, UC Riverside. Of course it is. For example, clearing tropical rainforests and farming cattle for meat is highly damaging. In comparison to cattle, insects are 5 times more efficient at converting food into edible tissue. And when considering this all together with their high reproductive rates and quick developmental times, the food conversion efficiency of insects may be 20 times that of cattle. There it is. Now we're talking. But I think this is where you start to get into some of these bizarre well, what would you say? Like conversations with academics, all right? Academics. They'll use terms like this, all right? 5 times more efficient at converting food into edible tissue, right? If that doesn't sound like a sociopath writing that, or even a psycho, I don't know what does. I mean, and I'm not calling anybody in particular these things. I'm just saying, right? When you kind of strip down just... I don't know. What do you say? What can you say about it other than yuck? Has anybody ever had actual insects to eat? I've seen chocolate covered ants, chocolate covered crickets, things like this. But entomophagy is. Let's go to that sustainable future, right? Again, we'll get off the weird part of the other stuff. That and again, in conclusion, I think that Bite Labs was parody. By the way, I don't think that's actually happening. Bob, cross your fingers that it's not actually happening. But okay, so back to eating insects, right? What do you think? It says, however, a major shortcoming with the idea of mass-producing insect species for food is a fundamental lack of knowledge on how to sustainably farm insects. Which species would be best suited for this practice and would be commercially viable because due to pre-existing markets. Despite this, there are some insect farms in Thailand where the red palm weevil is farmed and the large grubs are sold as food. Watch this very interesting news clip, blah, 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 from Thailand, blah, blah, blah. All right, it's in there. Okay, anyway, you guys want to watch bugs? How about here you go. There we go. All right, let's just full screen this and you guys we'll have that in the background. But okay. There you go. Let's see. Happy Joy. What's up? It says, yes, in Thailand, ants, crickets, water bugs, and many others. Some are very yummy, others not so. We got the jokes over on Rockfin with if there's you put enough mayonnaise on anything, it tastes good. What's up, Ronald? Ronald with the jokes. What's up, Angel Wings? I see you there. Let's see. Gotcha. What's up, Jennifer? Says I meant that I was on the fence about calling in, and yeah, was going through into the mix. Gotcha. Appreciate that. Again, sorry to be gross. It was just one of those ones that it just seemed too synchronistic to pass this up with all the Tam Bam sharing this, and then the 2022 Happy New Year actually coinciding with Silent Green. Is that coinciding? Yeah, with Soylent Green, not Silent Green. But okay, yeah, here we go. So we got this clip of Thailand, and they're farming bugs. I'll just let it roll for a little bit. But still looking to hear from you. What do you guys think? All this stuff is on the table. What do you think about sustainable eating, sustainable living? And again, right, the Klaus Schwab, you will own nothing and you will be happy. like a bad Bond villain, right? It's like, okay, all right, I guess that's what this is all about. So there you go. We'll just gross you out with a little bit of what's the term? I don't even know. All right, so eating bugs. All right, that's sustainability, isn't it? Maybe. Let's go to our good buddy Kelly. Kelly in Colorado. How are you, my friend? Welcome to Troubled Minds. What's going on with you?
Hey, man. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Grossing you out tonight?
Oh, no, man. This type of subject needs to be talked about because, some things are pretty strange, And like Jennifer was talking about how, there's been food products that have been tested that have come up as human DNA, and you have some stuff right now that's in the news when they're talking about older rich people, buying this, the young people's blood and, putting it in their blood. So who knows if they're, look at the products that's been, this has been decades now, like McDonald's. I call them McFakels because it's all fake. But, there was like a guy, he tried to trick a friend. I seen it was on the news. He was trying to trick his friend, like, have something wrong, when they graduated out of college or something. And he put it in his box, right? But it was from McDonald's. It was a meal. But nothing rotted. The bread didn't mold. The cheese didn't rot. The piece of whatever looked like meat, the patty didn't rot either. That's like virtually impossible. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, unless it's not real food.
So,
right.
Right? These companies, Bayer bought out Monsanto. But Monsanto, that's the who. If Jennifer was wondering, that's the who. That's the people that we need to be, people need to take a closer eye on those type companies because everything they want to do is produce everything is GMO. They're trying to say that it's sustainable, but if insects don't even eat the shit, then why would you?
That's totally true. You put out a McDonald's cheeseburger and it'll just sit on the sidewalk. You don't even get, not even the ants want that shit. They're like, nope, I'll pass. Find something else.
Yeah, so and most of this product anyway is food-like products anyway. So I don't know, man. Everything that's fast food, even like with chicken, I don't even believe that's even sometimes real because especially the pressed chicken, that pressed chicken and every chicken nugget's got the same shape, it's kind of weird. But like other chicken, they could be held together with meat glue, they even got that stuff now. They don't even have to, it's not even like a full bird. They just meat glue it all together and they could probably even meat glue it to a chicken bone, an old chicken bone or something. But yeah, man, it's fast food. You just got to stay away from that type of shit, man. Even though people think that that stuff is not. And imagine having the body trying to digest that shit. That's why people have all these problems. It's not, and it's plus all the chemicals that they're spraying on these non-GMO, these products. They've had tests on like lab rats that they were feeding just non-GMO. Wheat corn, or wheat, or even corn, I believe, and they were growing with big ass tumors and shit. That shouldn't even be consumed by anybody. But yeah, if you see it now, like I follow a lot of that stuff, Monsanto and Bayer, because they had their claws in all these countries, and a lot of these countries are actually throwing them out. Mexico was one of them, India was one of them. because their food, I mean, their products that they want you to grow, these crops, they're not even real either. This shit's just garbage, and then you got to put all those chemicals.
Right.
Why would you even need to do all that shit?
Yeah, especially when it's so bizarre. It's like that whole meme where it's like they have like a hamburger and it's like 99 cents, and they have like a salad and it's $5, and it's like, explain that shit to me. Like, if you go down to the grocery store and you buy meat for a hamburger, or you buy like lettuce and the salad stuff, the hamburger is going to be like 5 times as much. It's opposite. Well, because, like you said, that's just not real meat, is it? Pink slime or whatever.
And it's harder for some of these farmers too that they grow all natural, all organic. What they call all organic, which is actually just what we used to call food back in the day. But they have to pay for all these government fees and all these things that they need to just to sell their product itself. So that's why they're making it more expensive. It's not that it's expensive to grow. In some places maybe, but most places, here in the United States in the farmlands, we could, if we all switch back to what it was, we can feed the whole planet. I mean, with all the products that shipping coming and going. But man, the Monsanto thing, we'll even say cotton, that's like all percent GMO, all like 95% corn grown here, and soy is the exact same thing. That's all GMO. So anything that they made from soy is all GMO. So that's the thing, you know what I mean? So who knows whatever they're introducing as these meat products, And I wouldn't try to put them past them that they wanted to even start up something, I mean, they're saying that they can make meat out of cell cultures from a celebrity. And the celebrity, all he has to do is sign off on that shit. It could be just whatever the GMO meat that they're producing and saying that, this one tastes like Jennifer Lopez. You ever had that Jennifer Lopez beef?
Right, exactly. Exactly. It's like endorsements. It's like, the funny thing too is like you get, even like for like McDonald's or whatever, right? You get like these celebrity endorsements or whatever. Like they don't even eat that shit. They're just like, getting paid to say they do. So you're totally right.
And they got meals now that are like, oh, this is the meal I eat. Bullshit, dude. If you are, you're stupid. I don't know, man. It's just so cheap that's why people, buy it. They think it's, and plus, it's not even the taste. All that taste that you're tasting is all fake anyway. They have all that shit in the lab. If you just like those jelly beans. My son, when he was younger, he bought some. All the ones that taste like. And the shit tastes just like it said it was. Like one tastes like grass.
Oh, the Jelly Bellies, right? The Jelly Bellies?
Yeah. So, I mean, that right there, they can, everything's artificial flavored anyway, There's nothing that's really, that's so weird, man. There was a guy who was talking about the same shit, too. He's like, and what they do with, like, real product, like citrus and shit, they want to put it as a cleaner instead of, able to eat it or fucking.
Yeah.
The shit, like, backward, bro.
Exactly. That's the whole point, right? And back to that Bite Lab stuff. To even have to stop and pause and consider that shit might be real is again testament to what a fucked up world this really is. It's everything is so upside down and twisted inside out. I got to tell you, I'm glad you brought up the Jelly Bellies, because what disturbs me. The fact that the buttered popcorn one tastes like fucking buttered popcorn. Isn't that creepy as hell?
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's just like better get them that actually taste like that, But that's the thing. Everything if you're buying it like these food-like products, that's what it's called. It's not even real anymore. Like some of the bread they said that's over at Subway too. That was the garbage. It's like same type stuff that's made out of like mat, that they yoga mats and shit, same material.
They're making yoga mats and jelly beans out of the same material. Oh I know you didn't say that, but it was funny to say. You're cutting out just a smidge. Can you get a little closer to the mic, my friend?
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. To me, this stuff has been going on for decades, man. People don't even realize. That's why I believe that's why we're having so many medical issues, everybody thinks that, it was all from the grain, that they're having, all this gluten problem. It's not the grain per se. It's what they're spraying on the shit. It's like glyco some shit, man. I can't remember the chemical they're spraying on the shit, but that shit right there is very poisonous. The body can't even. You should see when they hook that shit to the airplane to spray on these chemicals, right? They're all walking through the field. These farmers they're wearing plastic suits. They can't even touch that shit, but yet they're allowing that shit to grow through the soil and the plant itself and produce the vegetable or fruit, and then want us to consume it. I mean, I don't know, man. I just that's why we are all organic. We had to change. We changed our diet. Everything. You'll feel so much better when you do.
Yeah, exactly, right. Eat as much as you can. Actual stuff that grows in the ground, right? Like not shit that was made in laboratories. And Ronald has a funny comment over on Rockfin. He says, "Waitress, there's some soup on my flies. Could you handle this?" Yeah, well, yeah, pretty wild, right? I don't know. Like this is clearly right. Like I agree with you. Like part of the medical expenses and part of the reason why the healthcare and all the shit's off the rails is because the cost wise is because people are eating that crap constantly. And you were 100% right there. Is that if we don't take care of yourself, like I always say, who's going to take care of you, right? Like nobody. It's got to be you. It's got to be you, not anybody else. You're the one responsible for you, not some fucking government, not the FDA, not James Franco or George Clooney or these people shilling whatever they're shilling. It's not them. It's you, right? You got to take care of you. Like ignore all that noise. It's just noise, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a selling product, right? You know what I mean? They want to get you. It's your attention first, just to throw it out there, and then if it gets a lot of hits or something like that, I'm pretty sure they probably even go for it, just to even put it out there. What's so weird too is like you're saying, like how macabre everything is just turning too. Like that new rapper, little X or whatever his name is. He was wanting to sell like those tennis shoes with like drops of blood in it or whatever, and everybody was like, Nike had to actually back away from him because that made a whole big uproar, right? But there's a whole different stories too behind that. But still, that type of shit that people want to have part of is just, I don't know. I don't understand the whole. I never got into the whole celebrity shit anyway for that. But who knows, man? It's pretty crazy to even think about. But I mean, the food's been fake for years. For decades, so I mean, I wouldn't put them past them, whatever they're putting out anyway.
Yeah, right. We got some Night Stalker in the chat says maybe these celebrities they're using have already some weird stuff mixed in, clone salami, eating the flesh of idols. And that's another thing too, like regarding sort of that Bite Labs, and it's weird that cannibalism kind of comes into the zeitgeist from time to time with that CNN guy eating the brains with like the cannibal tribe, which is ridiculous to me. Like, why didn't that guy go to jail? You know what I mean? But he was doing this shit for clicks, for attention. Like this is the type, again, the sick world we live in. People like doing sick shit for attention, But then there's more, right? It's not just that. It's just not that long ago we did a show on Mars, right, where they're kind of like dooming the mission and saying that, oh, by the way, people on Mars are going to end up eating each other, right? It's shit like this. It's like, is it really normalizing this thought for some fucked up future they're expecting us to run into soon? That's the thing that really irritates me.
Yeah, when I look at that issue though, when they say that, not that I would condone like cannibalism, but like there was that one where those people stuck in the snowstorm and shit, and I think it was an airplane that crashed or whatever, and they started eating.
The soccer guys in Brazil, I think. Then there's the Donner Party. There's stories like that, yeah.
Yeah. People, if I die, I want you to eat me. If this was to sustain you and, to help you out. Because, there's some cultures like over in Mongolia, when the person dies, they give the body back to nature. And what they do is they undress the body, of their dead relative, and they'll throw it to the vultures, because vultures are not killers; they're just cannibals, right? They just eat shit that's dead. So they feed the vultures the body, and when they pick it clean, to the bone, they just pick up the bones after they're done, and then they bury the bones. They say they're just giving back to the ways of nature, but that's something else. That's something totally different. But if for me, I would, I'd be like, yeah, if we was to die and this is the only way. But like going to Mars, that's a whole fucking different story, man. There ain't nobody coming out there to save your ass, So cannibalism would be, it wouldn't sustain you for anything anyway. You might as well just bury me.
Yeah, right. Just take your helmet off and go out staring at space or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Find yourself the best view. You got to pick your spot. Dark, but maybe true. Yeah, I don't know. And I think you're right to kind of bring in the Monsanto thing and into this conversation, because I think it all fits. It all fits. Again, sustainable living. Monsanto and a bunch of this, the way they're like killing the seeds so they can't like grow generation after generation. They grow one generation, then you can't, from the fruit produced, the seeds are infertile, right? This whole thing is fucked, beyond fucked. And so again, right, we live in clown world upside down, and we're supposed to be like, yeah, cool. So what do you think about the next step in sustainable eating and living is they're talking about maggots. They're talking about crickets, mealworms, shit like this. How does that make you feel, my friend?
Well, okay, so just real quick let's go to the mealworm. Well, that's actually, it's pretty smart, because insects can be mass produced, without really hurting the environment, because you're not, you could be, use them on farms and stuff. You can mass produce them on farms. But the thing about those ones too, you can actually grind them up, and you don't have to eat them. You won't have to look at the insect, because I think that's what people turns them off. They have a lot of protein and stuff like that as well. They're really actually pretty good for you in some aspects, but some might not even taste real well. But when I was traveling around the world, I think the time we was in South Korea, and we went and seen this temple. It was like built in like 400 AD or something, and so there were some tours that we would do, and so we went and seen this one. But when we were done, we weren't coming out, and this old lady had these silkworms, these little fat round silkworms, and they were kind of not really flat all the way, but they were probably about an 8 to a quarter inch thick, and they're probably about a quarter size, but she had them cooked in this pot, some people were asking, she asked if I wanted some, and I was like, no, I just want to take pictures of it, because I don't know, man, something like that exploding in my mouth, that just kind of freaks me out.
Exactly. Here's the thing with that, okay? So I think, like people, it's like arachnophobia, right? It's like people have a fear of snakes. It's built into our DNA, right? And I think there's probably a reason for that. You know what I mean? It's like we are, right? You get an insect looking at you with insect eyeballs, and you get the heebie-jeebies. You're like, oh God, what is this? Shit! Kill it, right? And you're like, kill it, somebody kill it, right? But I think there's a reason for that. I don't think we're supposed to eat insects. I just don't think so, right? And again, like you said, you could probably like grind them up and put some, a little bit of brown sugar in there and a little frosting and turn it into like a delicious ass cake and probably fool me. But I just don't think that's where we should be headed. I don't know, man. Call me old school or something, but if you gave me like a bowl of maggots, I don't know if I could do it, bro. I don't know if I could do it.
that's the thing I was talking about. It's the visual thing, I think. You know what I mean? But most, like there's some cultures, like that live in the jungles and shit. That's part of their, that's the things they eat. Like I had bought these videos for my son back in the day when he was growing up. But one of them was they were talking about the giant tarantula, and the tarantula. The people in the countries. I think it was Brazil, man, if I'm not mistaken. But the giant tarantulas. They would capture them, and then you would just put pressure on top of them, right, and fold the legs back, and they would have to burn off the hairs on it because those things are deadly. But yeah, they would eat those things too. I mean, that's probably what what we were doing before we started slaughtering animals. Besides the fact, instead of like industrializing that type of animal, like the cow. Before, here on this continent, it was the bison. They were by the hundreds of thousands, millions of those things running through these prairies, through the flatlands. But I don't know, man. And to me, it just insects wouldn't be too bad. I'd guess, but like I said, you kind of would have to get past it, because I've tried some grasshoppers and they come in little baggies you want to try. Yeah, I didn't look at it. I just kind of just popped it in my mouth, threw them down. But you kind of like the little legs kind of might break off weird,
Yeah. Like, have you seen that show Fear Factor where they like make him eat them live? And like, imagine like the little legs kicking and shit while you're chewing. Oh, fuck, no. Oh, God, no. No? You draw the line there? Would you eat them live, Kelly?
I don't know, man. I'd have to kill it. You can't be kicking and screaming in my mouth.
Exactly. Jay's got a good point in the chat. It says if you kill it, you have to eat it, and I agree with that. I don't kill anything because, why are you going to waste it, right? There's a ton of stuff already dead you can go buy and eat. Why are you going to just kill things? I get hunting and that stuff. I'm not against that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't personally kill anything for that reason. It's just. It seems wasteful. Night Stalker adds this. Lobsters are ocean bugs. We got to find the land lobster. Which is what? Grasshoppers? Locusts? Oh, shit.
Yeah, they actually...
Go ahead. You're cutting out, man.
Oh. Yeah. Well, hey, man, I'm going to let you guys go, so you guys have a good night, though, man. But this is good. Pretty interesting topic. So gory, you still need to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. I think somebody needs to talk about it. I appreciate it, my friend. Kelly, you're the best. Kelly in Colorado, part of the family, part of the Troubled Minds family. Always a pleasure. Happy New Year. Tell Michelle we said hi. Have a great night, bro.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thanks a lot. You too. Yeah, I think, and this is again, right? So again, we'll get off of the cannibalism thing. If you guys want to talk about that, fine. I'm not scared. Clearly, I spent 2 hours laughing talking about it. But I think we turn into this, right? We become this sustainable society. Here's your bowl of crickets. Here's your mealworms, right? Here's your whatever the hell, the maggots, whatever you're trying to eat, right? And there's again like. You can find this. It's like site after site after site. Here you go. Thebugagenda.com. The best insects to eat, right? Yeah. Like there you go. If you're jumping into entomophagy. Yeah, great stuff from Kelly as always, right? So entomophagy is a sustainable and nutritious way to eat. If you're looking for some of the best insects to eat that aren't only nutritious but delicious, here's a carefully selected list of the best tasting insects. You scroll down and here you go. Blah, blah, blah. We got mopane worms. Is that how you say it? I don't know. Crickets and grasshoppers. Black soldier flies, maggots. Yeah. Earthworms. Yep. Go eat some worms, right? Nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. Guess I'll eat some worms. The common woodlouse or pillbug. Oh, the little pillbugs. Oh, God. Put that in your mouth. No. Mealworms, of course. So we talked about that. Black ants. What else is on the Manchurian scorpions? Palm grubs. Yeah, there you go. Mezcal worms. God, that looks so good. Oh God! Like I can't do it. I can't do it. It tastes like chicken, right? Tastes like chicken. Night Stalker. They've been propagandizing us since the mid '90s with the Lion King. Tastes like chicken. It feels like it, right? It kind of feels like it. I don't know, but so okay. So there's another question. Then let's add it to the list of WTFs while we're doing this tonight. So do you think, hop on in, Jay. Just jump on in there, man. You're so by the way, if you guys are a mod on Discord, you can just jump right into the on air if you want. You've been cleared to not derail. So just jump right into the on air. Just double click it or whatever and I'll hop you right in. Jump on in, Jay. So the thing is that do you think that people are meant to eat insects? I think that's the question, right? So again, like speaking in like evolutionary terms, there's herbivores, there's omnivores, there's right the Metasaurus rexes, there's all that stuff, right? But, do you think that humans have evolved to this point as omnivores as we are? That are I'll bring Jay in. There you go. In case you didn't hear it, there you go. Jay's in. So okay. So do you think that people should be eating insects? I mean, it takes me back to that like that Matrix in the Matrix, right? When Neo gets out, right, and he's used to eating whatever he eats in the Matrix, and then they pull him out, and they're like, oh, by the way, here's your gruel, right? It's like got all the nutrients and shit you need, but it's not. It's not good. It's not good. And they're all eating this gruel, this malto meal or whatever this shit is they're eating. And it's got all the things you need that your body needs, but it's just not good to eat. So I don't know, right? So there's probably a lot of things you could make the argument as well, nutrition wise and sustainability wise and all the rest of this. But do you think humans were meant to eat insects? That's the question. That's one of the questions. That's one we can add that to the list that I hadn't really thought of as we started, but it didn't matter much because the phone lines are broke, but whatever. Whatevs, right? Live shows break shit. I'm not kidding when I tore my shit apart yesterday. Everything was all in pieces again. I had a new monitor. I got a new webcam, by the way. You notice I'm not doing this constantly to refocus this MFer. Look, it just stays focused. It turns out if you just have a proper webcam, the shit will just stay focused. Can you believe that? Wow, if you use the right tool for the job, things just stay the way they're supposed to stay. But yeah, I don't know. So that's one more question to the list here is, do you think that people were meant to actually eat insects? Let's see. Jennifer says, we can eat what we can eat, but I don't think it's ideal and unlikely to thrive on bugs long term. And it takes so many bugs a day, right? Imagine like going and like putting the bugs in a jar, the grasshoppers in a jar. You know how long you would take trying to catch grasshoppers to put in a jar? Enough to like even get you lunch. And by the time you did all that and ate lunch, you'd be hungry again for dinner. I don't know. You'd have to have a farm. I agree. Like there's I'm not so sure. That's what, again, like I said, like, and again, I'm not like so stuck in like, the dogma scientific models of maybe evolution. Like, sure, fine. It's probably a thing, but it's also probably a thing that, it happened for a reason and brought us here doing particular things. And I'm not saying we can't change those things. I'm just asking the questions, right? I don't know. I don't frickin' know. If, as you know me, if I had answers, I'd just read you the answers and the show would be over. What's going on, guys? Looking to hear from you. What are your thoughts on all this? Sustainable eating, crickets, grasshoppers, maggots, mealworms. Are you okay with that? Do you think that we could live on that stuff? Do you think it's normal? Do you think it's one of those things that, how about this? If it's not, do you think it can be normalized? Right? Can it be one of those situations where maybe in the next, let's say 50 years, everybody's eating maggots and mealworms, right? But again, like I said, grind it up with a little bit of honey and, some organic frosting on there made of, I don't know, more honey or something, agave, I don't know, right? You could probably make something delicious, okay? But you would have to do a shit ton of work to disguise the fact that was like ground up maggots. You know what I mean? Because in the end, it's still ground up maggots, isn't it? It's still ground up maggots. Yes. What's up, Sherry? What's up? Happy New Year, Sherry. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let's see. Terra Preta. What is that? The famous Liam Martin. Get your ass in here. You seem to know a lot about this. Let's talk. Let's talk about this. What's up? Lily says you wouldn't survive the bush if you weren't an Aboriginal, right? Meaning, well, but again, but this is the thing. All right. So I guess, and it comes down to another conversation in that we eat what we have to survive, right? That's for sure. But then there's another thing entirely, which is if you don't have to eat that to survive, would you? Right? And like I said, the fear factor, them putting them live cockroaches and shit in their mouth and the little legs kicking against them chewing. Oh, God, no. Oh, God, no. I'm not trying to do that at all. Let's check the Discord. Is everybody there? Kelly's out. Thank you for the call, Kelly. We got Jay here. Jay, it's about that time, brother. You doing okay? How you feeling, my man?
I'm fine, Mike. Thanks for bringing me in like that. I'm having technical issues today, too.
Yeah, it happens. You were a mod on the Discord. Jump right in. Don't even ask. Just hop in. You're good to go.
I think, wow, you always bringing great stuff out there. We're going to have to, I mean, we do. They say that McDonald's hamburgers and the meat there is a percentage of earthworms, and there are earthworm farms in Ohio where that's what people grow. Why are you growing earthworms? Well, I don't know. Somebody buys them.
Somebody buys them. Yeah, exactly, right. And it's been widely covered that the McDonald's burgers or whatever, not even meat, they're pink slime. Like they're like 60 or 70% soy and a bunch of other bullshit, and it's not even meat. It's like that, back to that Subway thing and the tuna DNA. It's like it's not even fucking tuna.
10%. I think you have to have 10% of what you call it.
For a
turkey is not turkey; it's ham, but it's bleached and dyed, and I mean the stuff that you're buying at the deli that's sliced. With what Kelly was saying with Monticello and stuff like that, you guys always bring me back to why I should buy the farm. It's going to be a hell of a lot of work, but the topic brings itself up often.
Yeah, I mean, but there's only one of you. You only have 2 hands and 10 fingers and all that. So there's also that.
And they just had a CSA, which is not commercial farming at all, and everything else like that. They fed 50 families, with 5 acres of produce and cattle, probably 20 acres. But, they really do. You can feed a lot of people. Kelly brought that up too. I mean, the vastness of our plains and the amount of area, if you just subdivided all that land back up into where the farmers owned it, not the corporations owned it anymore, the guy buying it from coast to coast so he can walk on his own land, sell his own seeds. But you can feed a crap. Binghamton was, I'm sorry throwing out there where I'm from, but all of the farmland around here was right here. We have a dairy in town. We had bakeries in town. We had slaughterhouses in town, and all that stuff was made locally. I mean, I think that's another thing that's important that a lot of people don't realize when they want to start eating healthier and stuff like that. You want to get your food as locally as you can. Hopefully it's not bugs, but if you're an Aboriginal. That's what you get.
Sherry said it too over there, and Rohan as well. We'll get to him in a second. I saw Rohan popped in here, but Sherry was saying buy local, right? And again, like these are like those small, when people talk about revolution, they think it's like burning down buildings and shit, but it's not. It's like growing your own food. that's revolutionary anymore, right? It's so ridiculous.
Some places it'll land you in jail. You're not allowed to collect your rainwater. You're not allowed to do this, that, or the other thing.
Yeah, that is true. That is absolutely true. Yeah. I don't know. Wild stuff, man. Go ahead.
Another quick thing I wanted to bring up before Rohan gets on, because I think this might entertain his ideas a little bit, is in order to become an Eagle Scout now, you have to have a merit badge called sustainability.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's all about and one with the environment and stuff like that. They're bringing it to the top.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I think, but still, I think it is something we should think about and talk about. I'm not like an old schooler that's like, fuck it, let's just fry the planet because money. You know what I mean? That's dumb. That's just a dumb notion, and I know you know that too. So that stuff's good. It's just the problem is once you start kind of mixing stuff like that in, and it's politicized, and they don't make it in terms of like just good old God-fearing people that know how to grow their food. It's about sustainability means, well, you got to know who to vote for, right? That's what sustainability means anymore. It's like, get the fuck out of here. That's not what that means at all. Anyway, don't get me started, right?
Yeah. That's why you have a show, Mike, is so we get you started.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You bring good things to us so we can have an awesome conversation. I'm curious as to what Rohan thinks.
Right on. I appreciate you digging it, my man. And okay, so hang tight. You got a J-Tro for us, I hope?
I do.
Okay, so hang tight. We'll go to Rohan, and then we'll come back to you. So the Jay in New York, a longtime friend of the show, thank you very much. Your hat is delayed, by the way, due to my own stupidity, but it's coming, I promise. Let's go to Rohan in the UK. The famous Liam Martin. Welcome to Troubled Minds. You're on with Mike and Jay. How are you, my man?
Mike, hi, Jay. How you doing? You all right?
Hi, Rohan.
Hello. Go right ahead. You were on fire over there with Sherry over on Rockfin. It seems you know a lot about this stuff. Go ahead and start wherever you want to start. We can get into the bugs or the sustainability or the growing locally. I don't know. What are your thoughts, my man?
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I've missed half the show because Tim and Algo Mike was on at the same time, so I listened to all three. So I've been this last hour. And jumping in and out, yeah, it's been a nightmare. I have to keep popping over. But yeah, I've managed to get to listen to two shows at the same time, but it's possible.
It's possible. Yeah, it's possible.
Get that farm, Jay. I'm coming. I'll do it.
Get the farm. I'm coming. You're cutting out. I'm not sure what's going on. If it's the internet or what, because you are talking a little bit fast, like you're on something really, really good.
You want me to drop out and come back in?
Okay, let's try that. Thank you. All right. So we're here with Jay in New York. Rohan is going to jump back in, the famous Liam Martin. He's having some issues, and yeah, good stuff.
We must have touched a nerve.
Yeah, right.
They're buffering our internet. I'm having issues too.
Are you? Nice. It's the it's the sustainability of the internet. They have to shut us up so the elites can use whatever they want. There's the jokes. This guy's got jokes. All right, Rohan, are you there?
Yep. Is that better?
It's still crackly.
Michael, strange. Right, let me.
Still crackly.
Let me try it again. Let me try and shut my internet down.
Try.
Give me 30.
Do the voice meter reset. Try that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Good thinking. Yep.
Okay. All right, cool. What's up, guys? Promethean says, Rohan been eating lightning bugs. Could be. Jennifer says, wild edibles everywhere, too. Yeah, that's tons of that stuff out there, isn't there? That's the craziest part about all this. I mean, like nature provides, right? And I think that we end up in sort of a, I don't know, just everything again. But everything's upside down. Living in the upside down. And again, right? Like I'm not preaching at anybody to do whatever, because I'm probably the worst example of eating terrible shit. So I'm not trying to do that. But don't get this like the wrong way. I'm just saying that like the society we live in it's based on all these other things that are just broken, right? They're just it's not good. I definitely drink too much beer. I definitely eat too much pizza, right? And there you go. Derek says, someone say edibles? Yeah. Somebody did say edibles. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah.
Edibles, you say, Mike?
Ah, perfect. Holy shit, you sound good, Rohan. The mighty Liam Martin. Go right ahead, sir. All fixed up. What fixed it? Can you help me? Help me help you next time.
Yeah, it was the voice meter thing. I never think about that because it's always good at my end.
I fucking see.
You knew it.
I'm the tech support motherfucker from across the pond. I'm like, hey, try the little click the You know why? Because I've spent so much time doing this shit. When I say I'm an audiophile, I'm not fucking around. I've been
what's a file?
Years.
Sorry, it's a joke.
Never mind. We'll get into that another time. Go right ahead, sir. Go right ahead. You had some thoughts.
Oh yeah. So what it was is it was just having a chit chat about growing on allotment plots and stuff. And I said, so I'm going to try and make some terra preta. And Sherry was asking what that was, and I thought I'd make a big point of this because it's actually an ancient technology that I think is one of the most astounding technologies ever made. So the story is, when people in the mid-16th century first went down the Amazon, meet all these tribes, loads of people, epic cities, they go back 50, 60 years later, they've died off. The story is European diseases must have killed them off. But then they thought these cities must have been bogus and exaggerations. But now, of course, because they said they can't feed a million people in the Amazon because the soil is not fertile enough. But it turns out it's not true, because they've got this black soil they call Indian black soil, and they find lots of traces of carbon in there. We've been making charcoal and put it into the soil, and you can get recipes for it. You can buy this soil called terra preta, and it's basically soil that's got some kind of microbiome process just through chemistry, ancient chemistry, that makes the soil grow. Okay, so in Brazil, a lot of farmers, they'll sell so many tons of the soil. They'll sell a few feet of it, sell it off, because it's the most fertile soil in the world, and then next year it replenishes itself. And the other amazing thing about it is that you don't need to rotate crops with it. Okay, so you can, and there's recipes you can get. There's a guy called Gerard Murphy, who Ryan Gable's had him on his show before to talk about something different, and he ended up mentioning this terra preta and did a whole show on it. And you'll find him on YouTube, Gerard Murphy. I rate the guy. He's a real academic, and so terra preta, you can mix up soil with just charcoal and a few other things, and you can make like kind of super soil. So I thought it's worth a go, and I'm just getting into the gardening thing. I got this in a little plot. So I just thought I'd get that mentioned because there's information out there, and you'd think that's all this talk about food, and they're going, GMO crops, this, that, and the other. They know all about this soil. You can order it offline. You can go to some garden centres, sell it. They know all about it. Do you know what I mean? So there's no need for all this to eat people or insects. Do you know what I mean? There's absolutely no need whatsoever, because we've got incredibly fertile soil already. And it's not just in the Amazon. They're starting to find it all over the world, which ties into the ancient civilization stuff. People know how to make super fertile soil,
Okay, so we're doing it wrong as usual, right? Like it doesn't shock me at all. They're like, oh, by the way, we're just doing shit wrong. Yeah, we're like making pink slime, putting it in a bun that won't rot, and serving it to you for 99 cents at Mickey D's.
Exactly, and that's part of the problem. See, I'm glad you mentioned Mickey D's, because Mickey D's, that's part of the problem, because that's there's your deforestation right there. And they're cutting trees down in places in like Brazil and stuff where they haven't got terra preta. So they're cutting this stuff down just to graze cattle. And of course that soil is not very good. So once you graze them cattle, that's it. That soil is done, the land's done, the trees are gone, so they have to cut some more trees down and more trees down. And the insane thing about McDonald's is that they're the biggest toy manufacturer in the world. Do you know what I'm saying? So they got all the plastics as well, and they like to advertise that they're recyclable, but the recycle centres can't separate the parts that are recyclable from the parts that aren't, so they're not actually recyclable at all. So they're wrecking our trees, wrecking the land where the trees are, the lungs of the earth, and adding a load of plastics to it, and yet it's up to us to fix the planet. So I'm saying, it's a joke, it's a sick, twisted joke. That's how I see it, all of this. And I think I mentioned in somewhere in the rock thing that for me, this is about, we need better leaders. It's the same old thing, or no leaders. You know what I'm saying? Because they're just leading us down a stupidity route on purpose, because it's bad, because it's wrong. It seems counterintuitive, and I've said this before. We look to our so-called leaders, or so-called elites, just authoritarians. We look to them, and they're mandated to do things in our best interest. So we presume they're doing things in our best interest because they're supposed to, right? But then they do things that are confusing, that don't seem to be in our best interest, because the stark, cold, simple reality is they don't do things in our best interest ever. Do you know what I mean? And that's the reality that we're all facing now. You know what I'm saying? And it's just how it is, you know?
Yeah, and it's fucked up. That's the whole point. Again, it's I think that's why the inversion of the world is happening. In that, right? It's being built in the vision of very few people, and there's fucking billions of people that live here. That, right? Again, this is part of that revolution. And again, don't get me wrong. If I say the word revolution, I mean peaceful revolution. I mean taking back what belongs to us in a peaceful manner. And it doesn't have to be shooting anybody. It has to be just saying, wait, stop. Like, this is enough. We've had enough of your bullshit, you political assholes. You've been lying and cheating and stealing from us for fucking ever, and then trying to tell us we need to be thankful for the scraps you kicked back. It's fucking bullshit, and you're 100% right. 100% right.
Yeah. I listened to Mike. You said before about places like Rockfin that they're going to replace, as you to quote Michael Strange, it's going to be the place where the cool kids are, and all these subcultures are going to start popping up. Now, so I listened to a Teal Swan prediction for the year video today, spiritual guru I'm interested in, and she's saying this same thing. It's going to be about the subcultures, and loads of subcultures are going to start popping up. You know, people are going to start, loads of immigration will start happening all over the place as people move around, as food shortages happen there, and it's a shake-up from the fact we haven't learned our lessons for the last 2,000 years. So we're going to do it again. You know what I'm saying? And like we keep sort of hinting at, it's going to be down to us, right? But on your own, you can't do it. But with your neighbours and your friends, we can suss this out. We've been around a long time. Like I say, that one little thing, Terra Preta. So, you know, we've got that, we've got other stuff, and I think Jay said, or it maybe not Jay, or one of you guys has said to me before when I wondered about this soil, they said, well, if we're really struggling for fertile soil, all we've got to do is dredge from the ocean. Jobs are good. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah?
Yeah.
Artificial scarcity. This planet is not overpopulated as far as I'm concerned, because we're overcrowded, not overpopulated. It's massive. This planet's massive, and I think it's a heck of a lot bigger than what they tell us. Myself, for numerous reasons. So we're not overcrowded, we're not scarce. Okay, everything's abundant. You know, a centimeter cube of empty space, right? Get your fingers, folks. Centimeter cube of space, right? Make a little finger and thumb. That actual centimeter cube of space that seems empty, yeah, that's got more energy in it than all of the stars and the known stars in the universe. If you squash them into a centimeter cube, they're falling short massively for the amount of energy that there is. Do you know what I'm saying? But we don't feel it because it's in equilibrium, because there's a counterpart to the universe, which is the contracting part. It's a long story. Nassim Haramein, look at his work. You know, we're abundant. There's tons of energy everywhere. Vacuum flux density, there's tons of energy. They know this. Tom Bearden, who was, I think it was at MIT or someone, he made a solid state free energy device. Do you know what I'm saying? But there's like, oh no. No, you can't.
We don't want that
it's
shit.
An experiment. Man. That's all. We're not going to sell it.
Yeah, we don't want that shit. Get that shit out of here, man. It's the same thing with like the vote counting machines, right? Like they get the most accurate machine, and they're like, wait, why do we want a vote counting machine that's accurate? Like, get that shit out of here. Come on, man. Like, we want obfuscation. We want all this stuff to make it look like the process is in place, but you know, the results are whatever the fucking results are going to be, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
You're going to dig out the old ones with the springs on, aren't you? So you can tighten them up a bit and then get an extra 10 votes for each 100. You know,
hey, I'm living proof. I didn't vote twice, but I went and changed my political affiliation because fuck you, both parties. And, well, what'd they do? They didn't take me off the old one. They just sent me a new one and my old one also. So they don't give a shit, man. Just line them up. Like, how many you want? Why don't we register for every party? Let's send you 10. Who gives a fuck? And that's the world we live in, bro. It's all upside down and backwards. And for you to say it makes you a racist and all this other shit, it's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous shit ever. It's like, okay, well, got it. You don't want us to say, hey, what about me? Because the second you say that, you're a selfish SOB and you're not allowed on this planet with the rest of us, right? Nah.
That's right. People have said to me, I mean, no one's actually approached me or stopped me doing anything in the last 2 years. I've just gone about. It's just been annoying what's going on in the world. But no one's stopped me going anywhere. No one's stopped me going any shops, nothing. Right? But people have said to me, why don't you, sorry to go sideways on this, but why don't you just do things to make other people feel better? Like put something over your face. And I'll say, well, it will make me feel better if you simply read the literature, so you've got informed consent. But you're not prepared to do that to make me feel better. So, do you know what I'm saying? And this is where you've got to ignore it, haven't you? And just think, nah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a joke.
At some point, you have to just tune all the bullshit out, and it's all bullshit. And again, I'm not saying that all the rest of that, whatever. Like you run with that, however you want to run with that. I see it different. I'm going to put it on so I don't get arrested or beat down with a hockey stick or something. You know what I mean? Because eventually that's coming. I'm going to just put the thing on. It doesn't bug me. Some other Rohan's going to walk by and they're going to beat his ass and drag his ass to jail.
Yeah, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to do it, and they're going to break my bones, and I'm going to go. It's worth it to keep my integrity. And everyone's got to do what they got to do.
It was worth it. It was worth it.
I'm going to start taking that training class that you posted in the Discord. So good luck beating my ass.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, and I've done that before. I'm just not fit. So I will be very fit in 3 months. So good luck, everyone.
Nice. Good luck. Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, like Hillbill.
And I know Jennifer
with everything you have.
This thing in her hair all tied up in the top. She's just going to fling it at them before they even get to us.
Hiya. Ninja, the throwing star. Hiya. Yeah.
We'll get James's plasma saber cane as well. We'll get that sorted out.
Yeah, you got to add that to the mix. Plasma saber cane. I'm in. I'm definitely in.
The next Justice League.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, so the question for both of you gents, Rohan first. So what do you think about this insect thing? I mean, it's basically like this to me. This is how I see it, right? Like you can get an academic looking at a spreadsheet and saying, this is probably the most efficient way to do things, right? But is it the most human way to do things? You know what I mean? That's where I start to kind of balk at, okay, well, just because some asshole with a spreadsheet that got some degree from Harvard tries to tell us this is the way to do shit, it doesn't mean that's the way to do shit. It just means that, like, these kind of super analytical people are like, well, this is probably the best way to do shit. But, well, is it though? So do you think, with that said, do you think people were meant to eat insects?
Well, meant to eat. I think it's a bit of an ambiguous one there, isn't it? But meant to eat. Okay, so when you're just developing as a life form, you eat what you can get, can't you? And it is true to say that our diets aren't as varied as they used to be. Okay. But there's plenty of flora and fauna. There's plenty of seed-bearing plants. So you've not really needed to. They're desperate situations, aren't there? You eat a rat because it's all you've got. You eat a grasshopper because it's all you've got. And I know in some countries they eat these things and they're kind of maybe used to it or whatever. But I remember around 2 years ago, people were saying, oh, there's this thing happened and people eat bats and they're eating crazy weird stuff and that's created this stuff. So why are they now 2 years later trying to get us all to do it? Because they're criticising that 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, come on. It's so much contradiction. It's just ludicrous.
Well, okay, but then, so I get it, and it's the same thing, right? So different times, different measures type of thing. I get it. I'm not saying I'd starve and not eat bugs. I'm saying, well, if I got a choice, I'm not eating bugs, is what I'm saying. Right? Yeah. And I'm sure you get that. But I don't know. So I guess that's the question, right? It's like, just because it seems like more efficient, there's a lot of things like it would be, and again, I know I'm making tremendous leaps and skipping 10,000 steps between here and there, that it would be more efficient to have less people also, right? Because less people to govern, less people to worry about, less people, less, so you could just
less people to tax.
Oh no, see, there's the problem, right? Less people to tax. Well. But go to Thanos.
What about this? I've got an idea for food shortages already.
He snapped
from about 15 years ago. It's easy, and it fixes Africa as well. It's dead easy, right? And it just takes money. This is the problem. It takes resources. You don't. All right, that's how you do it. You did a show the other day on biotech, nanotech swarms, right? Here we go. Nanotech. That's what I was talking about, the advancements of it. Nanotech, you can use nanotech to turn seawater into rice. Straight up, right? So if you get desalination plants all the way around Africa, a lot of jobs there for construction workers. There's a lot of African construction workers. In fact, there's a lot of them building football stadiums in Qatar right now doing slave labour that no one wants to talk about. Okay? Where's your Black Lives Matter there? All right, so why haven't we got desalination plants all around Africa? Yeah? Then we've got lots of fresh water. We can use that water with the nanotech companies to make rice. Then we can have solar-powered freaking trains shipping the rice into Africa and pumping the water in there. Boom, Shankar. breadbasket of Africa. Then we can stop messing about, get back to America as well, start farming there. That was the breadbasket of the world. We've got 2 breadbaskets then. You know what I'm saying? It don't take that much. It's the willingness to do it, and who's got the money. You know what I'm saying? The fact that we're even talking about starvation shows you that that's the plan. Because we can get around this. We've got the technology. We've got Moore's law. Technology builds and technology. We have double the amount of transistors in your computers every 2 years. We're streets ahead of centuries ago having to eat bugs. We're miles ahead of that. We're on the verge of creating replicators, for God's sake. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it too. Back to, we talk about going to the moon or going to Mars, right? It's a matter of political will. It's the same thing with all the rest of that shit you're talking about. It's a matter of like those priorities of, hey, there are fucking millions of people starving. So why on God's green earth, like I think Ronald said in the chat over on Rockfin a little bit earlier, like, well, why are we throwing away 30% of our food over here in the West? Like literally, if anybody gave a fuck, that wouldn't be the case, would it?
Yeah, does anyone remember John F. Kennedy? Anyone remember that guy? Because that guy commissioned a report to see what it would take to feed, clothe and house everyone on the planet. See how much money it would cost. All it would cost was what the one military budget, one annual budget for the American military back in the 60s. What's everybody's military budget now? They're talking about renewing nuclear weapons and let's do nuclear fuel again, in power plants because it's better for the environment, which is obviously ludicrous. So if you're putting the money into that, why don't you just... I don't like to pick on this guy just for this, but Bill Gates has got enough money to single-handedly feed, clothe and house everybody. Jeff Bezos too. Jeff Bezos too. You know what I'm saying? There's enough. If it's all about the money, then there's enough money. There's people with tons and tons and tons of money. There's people, because remember, a lot of it got stolen in 2008. You know what I'm saying? The resources are there. If people wanted to do it, we could do it. If we wanted to build a colony ship that it could get to the other side of the universe, we could build that in 50 years if we had the will. You know what I'm saying? We could do that. Yeah. It's like I say, it's what people want, and that's what I keep saying. I think the plan is, look, they're all lardy-darry, and look at us, we're going into space, we're going to mine asteroids, and yet we can't feed ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Like how stupid does that sound? Exactly. Fucking exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, don't start me off. I'm gonna shut up.
Exactly.
I'm gonna shut up.
I'm so mad. All right. So same question posed to you there. I know you've been listening, Jay.
I am.
Were people meant to eat insects?
Thanks for bringing it back to track, Mike.
You got it.
Yeah, probably. I mean, in all honesty, they're abundant. The Aboriginals, they eat them. Do you have the, Eastern Asians and stuff like that are living in the jungles and stuff like that, and some of those things are a delicacy. And I learned tonight that they're putting them in edibles just to tone it down a little bit. I mean, it only took us like 15 years to make the smartphone. Everybody's got to have one. Everybody eats bugs now, They have it's not a hamburger, but it tastes like beef thing at one of the diners that we go to. It's I don't know what it is. And they keep asking me to try it because evidently they get, money for it or something every time someone buys one. But they are doing that, Bugs, it's not that big a deal, Mix some maggots in your rice, you got some more protein. You won't know the difference. They'll boil up, look pretty much the same. Don't stare at it. Don't play with your food like your grandmother told you. You just
play with your food. Indigo Kid on YouTube.
Come on,
Yeah, right.
If you got to eat one big, huge, the hissing cockroaches or something like that, I mean, put his head on a molar and be nice to him.
Exactly. Indigo Kid on Discord there says, Mike, bugs are free protein. The third world country has been eating bugs forever, but also adds, not saying I look forward to eating bugs. Exactly, right? Oh boy. Again, right? Are humans too spoiled? I don't know.
Well, I mean, you look at your locality, and stuff like that too. I mean, if it came down to it and, we went back to the dark ages or primitive ages, the meat of choice in New York State would definitely be deer. You know, they're begging hunters to come and hunt them because they're getting blasted by cars because they're migrating so much, because there's so many of them. So they want to keep the population down so they're not getting hit by cars and get made into dog food or food for the, you know, here I know for a fact because I hit a deer and had to wait for the guy to come out and shoot it because you're not allowed to shoot it because somebody with a city thing has to come and shoot it. They take the deer to the zoo and they feed them to the lions and the wolves that they have up there when they get local roadkill here. You know, I know that I've lived out west and stuff like that. You know, they would take them to plants and rendering and they would give the food away to homeless people, you know, if it just, they were making use of it, you know.
Yeah, and it seems like there's 10,000 ways to do this, and it's just like none of those ways are like happening. And I mean, there's good companies out there doing good things, right? Like trying to, there's a company out here in Vegas trying to take like the waste food and resell it and things like this at like you know, pennies on the dollar type of situation for yesterday's food instead of wasting it, right? There's shit happening. It's just that like it's not fast enough. Fuck, it's not fast enough. Like just. Back to the political will, right?
Well, I mean, we have to think of locally. You know, locally, you need to look at, like, I lived in Cincinnati for a little while, and the lady there who had she was 4-star restaurant, all of the soups and everything else like that at the end of the day. You put them in the bags, and you send them off to the soup kitchen at the end of the night. We didn't throw it away into the dumpster because that costs money to throw it away. You know, you have to pay someone to come and get your dumpster.
Yeah, it does.
So why wouldn't you just... It's a 4-star restaurant, so you have to have fresh food because you're charging people that kind of money to eat it. So at the end of the day, why wouldn't you just take it down to the soup kitchen? You know, that was, whoever closed up the restaurant, you know, at the end of the day, you took all the rolls and salad. And,
yep. Or not even that, right? Like, you don't even have to. Like, there should be a company that comes around and does that shit, you know? Like, and
well, we took it down because it saved them money, you know?
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly right. Back to the whole thing where it's all fucked up, right? It's like, look, you want to make me ruler of the world? Here you go. It's fucking simple. These corporations want their tax cuts, right? They don't want to pay taxes. That's fine. Then you're going to do shit like that. You're going to have companies with government oversight. Take that, government oversight, and actually have like these intermediary companies where they do exactly that shit. All right, you don't want to pay taxes, you get a lessened tax rate, but you have to have companies in this many cities across the country that go and pick up food that's going to be thrown away and take them to the soup kitchens, right? And not only that, you can't just say you did it, we're going to check to make sure you fucking did it. And then you get to keep your sweet tax rates. If not, we're going to tax your balls off, right?
Well, you get to charge them what you would charge the people in the restaurant.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You know, it's a $25 plate that you're throwing out because instead of putting it in your dumpster, fry that shit up, take it to the soup kitchen. Here's a box for you, buddy. Oh, crap, you got filet mignon and asparagus and au gratin potatoes, salad, and a soup.
Yeah. There is a company.
Lucky for you.
Like I said. And that's what I'm saying.
That's quite in, guys. I think you're on the right track there. And there was you probably won't have heard of this, but there was you got to let them know and you got to shame them. And there was I don't know, it was a king or there's a prince in India one time, a wealthy royal guy that came to England and he wanted to buy a Rolls Royce. Okay. And there was brazen racist to him. No, you can't afford this sort of thing. So he went back to India and he ordered 5, right? He sent them over when it's not official, and he used them as trash trucks.
Awesome.
He used them to collect junk. And Rolls-Royce was so upset that they said, if you please stop doing that, we'll give you one for free.
Yeah, see?
I would have bought 10 more and used them all for trash trucks. No, I won't take your free one. I'll buy 10 more.
Yeah.
Put them in our poorest cities.
Again, it's all fucked up. It's all upside down and backwards. Promethean Reckoning says California prisons have discarded food, and a company picks it up to feed pigs. Same thing happens here in Vegas, by the way. The buffets, right? Every fucking day, they got these fresh buffets, and they can't serve it again tomorrow, so they throw it out. But instead, they sell it at pennies on the dollar to the pig farms, and these fucking pigs out here in North Vegas are eating like fucking kings. And like
it's probably some hell of a good bacon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and
we have people
homeless, and you get caught stealing that out of the trash, getting arrested.
Exactly. It's all literally the dumbest thing, upside down and backwards. I don't know. What else? All right, let's wrap this up, fellas. It's been a long time and I have to piss. I'm getting old. Let's roll it. Let's roll it.
Rubber pants, I keep saying.
Well, I got my waders on. We're good to go for another 30 minutes. No, let's wrap it. Let's wrap it. All right, so final thought, Rohan, then we'll go to the J-Tro. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Just keep the faith. Get to know your neighbours, the ones that's cool, the ones that's not. Ask them what the damage is. We're gonna have to rely on each other. You know what I mean? That's what we. Don't panic, and don't forget that there's so many people that's wanted to take over the world, and guess what? No one ever did it.
That's fantastic. Boil it down to the way shit is. Fantastic. Good shit. Rohan has a podcast, The Mighty Liam Martin. Somebody was actually asking over on Discord, in the Fringe Discord, how to find Rohan's podcast. So I think somebody helped him out, but Lacey helped him out.
Nice.
But yeah, people are looking for you, man. So Rohan has a podcast called Exiled Minds. Link in the description. Scroll down, check it out. Give Rohan, our good friend, some love. Even though he's across the pond and his dirty British with the Tea Party and all that crap, I'm not going to hold it against him. He's still a good man, and there you go. There you go. Appreciate it, my friend. Let's go to Jay. Let's get us a J-Tro. You got a proper J-Tro for us, my friend?
I do.
Okay, I'm going to give you a beat to drop. You ready for this?
I think I am.
Okay.
I got it. I got an idea for Rohan. I want him to apply to Cornell University in upstate New York because he's got that whole farming thing down. It'd be brilliant for those people up there.
There you go.
I'll pass it on to him. I'll give him a shout. I'll sort it out for you, Jay. Don't worry.
Let him know.
Yes. After hours, if you please.
There you go. Whenever you're ready, sir.
Oh, damn it. I lost it.
That's all right. We got time for you, my friend. No problem.
No, we don't need more sleep. It's our souls that are tired, not our bodies. We need nature. We need magic. We need adventure. We need freedom. We need the truth. We need stillness. We don't need more sleep. We need to wake up and live. And that's Brooke Hampton. I don't know who she is. It popped up. I was really worried about that one until I talked to Rohan, and then I kind of brought it all together.
No, that's perfect. That is so fitting in so many ways. Always great shit. You were the best, Jay. Well, you know how this goes, right?
God willing.
The bad news is, for tonight we're done. The good news is, God willing, we have tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific, Monday through Thursday, Troubled Minds. Give all the folks love. Scroll down. Check out the amazing folks who contribute to the show on a regular basis. Links in the description. Go follow these fine people and spread the love around. Again, right? You vote for the world you want to live in with your time, your energy, your money, and the things you do, and the things you say, and the things you are, and you become those things. These people are amazing. Give them some love. Thank you to all the folks in the chat. I see you out there. Thanks for all the energy and the support. Thanks for not bringing the torches and pitchforks when I have a technical issue. Because boy, shit, have they come fast and heavy the last week. I'm telling you. Something's telling me to take a vacation. Maybe it's time. So we'll finish one more. Maybe next week, take the week off. And Tam Bam, if you're out there, this show is for you. I appreciate sharing that link. If you guys want a show and have an idea and you want to actually be part of the show, you're welcome to. everybody's invited. If you have an idea, share your links in the Discord, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. If you want to meet all the fine people, including myself, that anchor this show, Rohan, Jay, Jennifer, Night Stalker, you name it, Joseph, you name them, all the way down the line. Joe in Florida, all those folks, they're all on Discord. Come say hi. They are as nice as they seem. They are as intelligent as they seem. They're all very good people. So come hang out. Troubledminds.org, click the Discord link, come say hi. We will be nice to you, I promise you that. And if you can't be nice, that's the only reason we won't be nice to you. But let's get the hell out of here. As we finish, it goes like this. Be sure, be strong, be true. Thank you for listening. From our troubled minds to yours. Have a great night. And then there's James. Don't forget James. Salcedo Paranormal. See? That's why you can't list everybody, because then you forget somebody. Robert on Rockfin and all the rest. There you go. See? I fucked it up. That's why you can't list. You just got to say everybody. Have a great one, guys. maybe juicification.
Ow.
Oh, all right. There you go. There's the howl. All right. Killing the stream, guys, with my new gizmo in 3, 2, 1. See you guys tomorrow night. And actually, we do the Discord after chat. If anybody wants to hang out, come hang out. I'm not speaking for anybody, but I'll be there a little bit on and off tonight as well. Catch you guys shortly.